My husband accused me of cheating while he secretly loved someone else.
Oh, whoever smelt it, dealt it. Am I right, guys?
I'm 34 female and have been struggling with depression for nearly 8 years, since my first child was born. My husband, 38 male, thinks I don't do enough and I want to leave, but need to make sure I've tried everything first. By the way, this comes from Throwaway 1900s Baby, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, with my firstborn, I was really struggling with postpartum depression. I even went to the doctor, but she downplayed what I was feeling and told me I was having an identity crisis. My husband told me 8 hours is 8 hours, doesn't matter if it's in a row or not. So I slept all day whenever my child would let me. I napped when baby napped for 2 years. I couldn't clean the house, could barely cook, and couldn't exercise more than a walk here and there. But it was just an identity crisis, right? It would end, surely. That took a huge toll on my relationship because my husband didn't believe anything was wrong either. He said to just stop being lazy and work out and it would be fixed.
Bro, dude, all you gotta do is lock in. That's all.
That's really what he said.
Just like lock
she had
in,
a whole baby and he's like, just lock in, dude.
Dude, just get your head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game. Right?
Go play basketball.
Yeah.
No, your husband's silly. Then we tried for another child. It took nearly 3 years to conceive. That pregnancy was hard, but again, according to my husband, it was because I was eating too much of the wrong things and not exercising enough. For the record, I'm 5'7" and 145 to 150 pounds.
An extremely normal, healthy weight for that height. Extremely normal.
I homeschooled our oldest for kindergarten and first grade until our second baby was 1. Then I couldn't do it anymore. I hated being needed, being touched, and talked to 24/7. Our child is a social butterfly and needed more than what I could give. We were part of a group for the kids, but he'd come home and say, I'm lonely there, Mom, so we quit going. I put him in school. He loves life more now, though he's been at an educational stall for the past 1.5 years. My husband constantly sends me posts and articles about how the school system is awful. I agree, but I just can't be a home educator. I hate it. Apparently, I'm not the type of mom who loves to constantly be around her kids. My husband doesn't believe depression is even a thing.
Dude, lock in.
His husband sucks.
Yeah.
He says it wouldn't exist if people would just eat right and exercise. I resent him. I resent the fact that he is downplaying what I'm going through. I realize exercise can help, yes. And I'm not a fat slob. I'm on my feet all day. I garden, I keep a clean house, I go for walks with the kids. It's just not gym time. I admit I've been in my own head for so long that I've neglected him. He receives love through long talks and being doted on. I just don't have the energy or mental capacity. I show him I care by keeping a clean house, feeding him, and meal prepping. He works away often, and I prep 30 meals and snacks so he doesn't have to go hungry during his workday. I've been telling him for a few years now that I want a divorce.
Oh, wow.
We don't work well together. I told him at the end of the school year, I'm leaving. I've started looking for jobs. So before I completely blow up my life, is there anything else I should do? I have an appointment with my doctor for medication at the end of the month. That's all I can think of. Maybe try medication to see if it gives me the boost I apparently require to get to the gym, cook and clean more, stay up late talking to him, work on us, and care for him. It's a whole lot of him there.
Yeah.
What else should I do to help my marriage? And we have some comments. Commenter 1. You meal prep 30 meals for him? Did I read that right? You've mentioned you've not been making him feel loved. What has he done to make you feel loved?
Yeah, honestly.
Sounds like the last few years have been hard. Why are you homeschooling if you hate it? Get the kids into school and get a divorce. I feel it's almost guaranteed to make you happier overnight.
Yeah, honestly. Like if he's talking so much about her depression, but she's doing all of the other things that she can do right about
She's
it.
doing so much for someone that had postpartum and is probably
Yes.
still having it.
Yes, and so it's like, okay, well, yes, you can exercise, you can eat better, you can, keep things clean, but she's doing all of that stuff. Like
Right.
all of that stuff definitely affects your mental health, but I would argue more than all of that, the people you keep around you also affect your mental health. And obviously this guy sucks, and so I think his presence is just making her depression worse.
Yeah. I mean, sounds like she's going to try some medication for it, which I think could help if they can find the right dosage that quick, but I still don't think you should stay with this man per se.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the medication is going to help his actions.
I don't think it's going to help your marriage.
Yeah.
Comment 2. I would say first, change doctors. This one is just no good if they can't recognize depression and postpartum depression. Your problem lies there first. And we have an update. We own our own business in personal care. Think massage, personal training, things like that. We have been married for 10 years as of yesterday.
Woo!
And as of 5 days ago, I discovered he cheated on me in 2022.
Oh. All right. Of course, this guy does that.
Of course.
Divorce.
Yeah, make it happen, girl.
He has always accused me of cheating.
Oh,
there
of course.
You go.
Oh, classic.
Classic.
Carly and I read some stories like that yesterday. Isn't that always how it goes?
Always how it goes. And of being a bad partner because I'll talk about our problems with friends. He even told me more than once, out of the blue, to unlock my phone so he can sift through it. A shortened name came up on his WhatsApp notifications. He's got WhatsApp locked. I managed to figure out his password.
Nice.
This woman is also married and has 3 children.
Oh, wowza.
We now have over 40 screenshots of their conversation, which appears to be regularly deleted, of him saying he loves her, has gifts for her, her butt fits so perfectly in his hands.
No.
What does that even mean?
Ew.
He loves her hair and her gas. What? Which I can only assume means one thing. He met this woman while working away in 2022. They reportedly haven't seen each other in 3 years. When the affair began in early 2022, I had just given birth to our second child.
Gosh.
Currently, I'm 38 weeks with our third. He hasn't said I love you to me in at least 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
How are you with this man? Like, I get it, they have kids, but like, girl, leave this man.
Please. If you've been thinking about divorce for so long, just do it. Don't talk to him about it, just do it. He's gonna convince you not to.
Yeah. We are completely intertwined with land we don't want to get rid of, a business partnership, and soon to be 3 children. I can't tell if they just haven't seen each other physically in 3 years or haven't spoken at all. There are comments in their conversation that allude to them planning to leave their spouses for each other, and then she got cold feet. I know I need to leave logically. I just really don't know where to start, and I'm heartbroken. He has only stayed because she wouldn't leave her husband. We have a comment. If you feel like you cannot look past this, then the first thing you need to do is contact a lawyer. They will help lay out your options. The feeling of betrayal is hard to overcome and could hamper your marriage even further. By the way, his accusing you of cheating is his way of dealing with the guilt of cheating on you. It's a manipulation tactic.
Classic.
And OP replied, I remember like yesterday he said to me, you could be cheating when I'm away and I would never even know. He even told you how he was doing it. Oh my god.
He was monologuing his evil plan right
He's
to
like,
you.
I have a scheme and I will tell you.
Yeah. Oh, but he's the one that's always away.
Yeah.
You silly, silly man.
Meanwhile, I'm at home 2.5 hours away from any friends or family with 2 young kids. Yeah, I wasn't the one cheating. I feel so stupid for trusting him and not seeing the way he pinned his actions on me, blanking on the term. We have an update too. I finally had the nerve to confront him, and lo and behold, he says nothing happened. I asked why her butt fits so perfectly in his hands, and that was apparently just a joke. He refused to admit anything, even though I sent him some of the pictures I have of their conversations. He blames me for being close to her because I met up with an old friend and his girlfriend while he was back in the country for Christmas a few years back. Except that occurred after he started seeing this woman. I really don't believe anything he's saying. I finally brought it up to my college friend who still lives in the place he went to work, and she said she heard this as a rumor 3 years ago, back in 2022, that he cheated on me with a woman there. She never thought it could be true, so she didn't tell me. I feel like you still tell the person. There's like this, hey, I heard through the grapevine.
Yeah, right?
I never thought it could happen either, but here we are. I'm disgusted and heartbroken. I know I need to leave. There's just a lot about our life that needs to be figured out first. I've already made sure that I am the owner of all life insurance policies for the kids. Not that he would know how to change that, but now he can't without my permission. I think next week I'll try contacting a lawyer. And by the way, this week and next week and the week after and the week after, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app. Search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left, but leave this man.
Leave this man. Pathetic little man only knows how to get Lunchables for himself and cannot make him a real meal.
He won't even need a divorce. He's gonna starve within a week because he doesn't know how to make his lunch.
It'll be gone.
It'll be gone.
It'll be gone. Problem solved.
There we go. Well, we've got a little bit left. I qualify for legal aid and likely low-income housing and income-based rental subsidy. I really don't want to have to sell our house because that's all we have to pass on to our kids, but I'll see what options I have. He works weekends, and if I leave him, I have to leave our town because it's just too small. There's no full-time childcare or work available here. But then the kids would be in public school, only able to visit him on weekends, and he has to work, so logistically, I feel like such an a-hole.
Nah.
Currently, I'm on maternity leave until next summer, so I want to get things organized before I'm due to return to work. Sorry for the jumbled mess. My brain is going in so many different directions, and that is the end of that story.
Wow. Listen, girl. You know what to do.
Get out of there.
Let's do it, right? Right, ladies?
Right,
Let's leave our husbands.
right.
That's what Rosie, whatever her name
The
was.
Riveter.
The Rosie the Riveter was referring to. Leaving the husbands.
Yes.
My husband gave our baby's name away, so I'm leaving him.
You leave our baby's name, you leave me.
I went to my friend's house, and from there to my mom's, and I'm currently writing from there. I've been with my husband for 6 years and married for 4 years now. I met him while gaming. I was 22 and he was 35. We instantly clicked. Oh. How do we know though? Because we were online. We were only online. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that in this story. It was like he was just made for me. He just poured his heart out for me and told me that he wanted to marry right away. By the way, this comes from user Jello Bello, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you do something different, let us know in the comments. And OP says, he was just so attentive towards me. Bought me some expensive features in the game, helped me rank up and talk to me for hours. And he had a job too, which he did with patience and honesty.
How do you know that?
How do you know this? Was his job in the game? Slowly, things became very serious between us, and he asked me out, and I said yes. We would have online dates and talk on video calls for hours while playing games together. However, after a year, slowly, things changed. He was no longer giving me attention and didn't want to play with me. He kept asking me to send him money for game updates and upgrades because he spent his money on his family and his brother's family.
So that's called a scam.
Now, honestly, I don't even think this guy, I mean, it is, you're being scammed. But, like, I think you're being scammed by just having a terrible relationship with this guy. A horrible relationship with this man. At the time, I didn't care much because family should help family, and I did send him money for his hobby. This went on for a long time until I told him to stop spending so much money on games and to maybe not spend so much money on his family too and start saving up for himself and our future. He kept agreeing and saying he would start after this upcoming upgrade was finished. And this is how it went on for 2 years. I kept telling him to save. He kept spending and having no money to himself, not even for medical checkups. And all this time, he kept comparing me to his sister-in-law, saying how beautiful she was and how smart she was. And why couldn't I be like that? I'ma leave. I'm leaving.
OP.
Call me Frank Sinatra the way I'm spreading the news, because I'm leaving today. I'm going to be a part of it. Anywhere but this relationship, baby.
Yeah, I'm not being a part of this relationship anymore, I'll tell you that.
He really liked her and her children. It was like he saw them differently and had put them all on a pedestal. It was just so crazy to me, and this turned me into a crazy, jealous woman. Thus, I asked him to marry me, and I would show him that I was better than his sister-in-law. That might be the worst justification for marriage I've ever seen on the show.
Yeah. Marry me. I'll prove I'm better than that person that you definitely like more than me.
Oh, you had to know, right? Someone had to tell you, oh, no, it's going to stay the same or it's going to get worse.
Was there anyone in your life that was saying this, or were you just kind of, because oftentimes when you have these relationships where they're really bad and you have a younger person, they kind of like don't listen to the people in their lives because this older person, this older partner is saying, oh, you don't have to. I'm here for you.
Just tell them, ice them out. Or you don't have to. Just get those people out of here. You're mine.
Yeah.
You're mine and mine alone. So in August of 2021, we tied the knot. The Gordian knot? You're going to have a hard time untying that one.
It's impossible.
Well, except for who was that one guy who untied the Gordian knot? Dang it. I'm missing on my... Gordo. Yeah, that's right. Duh. How can I forget that? Since I was not doing anything for myself, I moved in with him and my in-laws, which was a whole other story. Even marriage didn't stop him from comparing me to his sister-in-law and always praising her and his brother's family. I'm sorry, it's not funny. This sucks for you, OP. But, like, of course marriage wasn't going to stop him from doing that.
Yeah. She's like, what? Who could have known? Who could have known?
Even marriage didn't stop him. It's like marrying the bank robber, but you work at a bank.
Yeah.
And you're like, even marriage didn't stop him from robbing that bank.
I thought I could change him. He didn't change.
He's a bank robber. He doesn't care if you work at the bank. He's going to steal all your nickels and dimes.
And his change.
And God forbid your quarters.
There's no pennies to steal anymore.
It's illegal. I was obsessed with him and his happiness. His happiness was my happiness. He told me his sad childhood, and I wanted to make him the happiest man. I followed his every comment, cut off my friends, changed my clothing, fulfilled his spicy desires, and went out of my comfort zone for him. I deleted all my socials, didn't post my photos anywhere. I put him over myself and my needs in everything. But in return, I got nothing, and everything became unbearable. Living with my in-laws was unbearable, along with his behaviors. So I asked him to either change everything, or we were done. And that was in June 2023. Surprisingly, we moved houses, and he started to become a very good partner.
I don't believe you.
I mean, let's find out, maybe, what he could have been doing that was so good. Yeah. He started to love me again. We went on dates. We became closer. He expressed that he wanted to be a dad and that we should start a family. No! We took things slow and first built our relationship stronger. And he stopped his comparisons and was actively working to make our life and house better. He was not sending money to his family and was actually saving for us and our future. And I was the happiest. No in-law drama. and I was near my parents as well, so everything was going very good. It was a peaceful 2.5 years, so I decided that it was time for us to start a family since everything was perfect. And he expressed that he didn't want to wait anymore, and we weren't getting any younger, and everything seemed fine.
No.
He was a different person now, and I also wanted a baby now. Fast forward to April 2025, and I was pregnant, and everything was very well. He was a very present and loving partner, which I wanted forever. But my joy was short-lived because around July, something changed inside of him, and he was no longer the same. He started coming home late and was spending most of his time with his brother's family because his brother lost his job, and now they needed him. My husband had 2 businesses now. He was very successful. Thus, he could now help his family, and we could have no problems, which I was okay with, though my opinion didn't matter to him in this case anyway. A little bit of a red flag right there.
Oh, so many red flags in this story, and it's tough hearing this because you can't stop OP from walking towards the cliff.
I mean, it's tough because you also have that 2.5 year period where, he kind of turns it around, but I'm sure there's still a lot of rose-tinted glasses, when it comes to the red flags in the relationship.
You don't want to see them. You're young. You don't want to see them. You want to see the guy that, shows up for you.
Yeah. I would be alone for hours, so I decided that I wanted to go to my parents since he was barely home with me, and my parents just wanted me to be safe. Fast forward to the issue at hand. We had decided the name beforehand, that if it was a boy, it would be Cairo since we are Egyptians, and if it was a girl, it would be Nova for the star. I read most of your replies, and many of you commented about how I was still with my husband even after all these things. It was just that love really is blind, and I was also a bit too naive and married him because he had potential. Looking back at how everything was going on and the way he treated me, if someone else was in my shoes, I would have told him to leave in the blink of an eye. But here I was, who stayed and even married him and started a family with him. And there are some comments here. First one is, did you try to confront sister-in-law and brother-in-law, the in-laws? OP replies, yes, I did confront my brother-in-law way before, but I insulted a lot and then I just backed off because my husband didn't support me. And honestly, I was overpowered and I didn't want to involve my parents a lot because they had to respect for anyone. And there is an update.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you are on the path to understanding, and you've just kind of written the update separately or something, maybe. But yeah, it's just naivete.
Yeah, I gotta admit, at the beginning, I was like, I don't know if we should leave someone just because of the baby's name being like.
But you should leave this
But
person.
That's just the little tiny sprinkle on top of the entire sundae of bad aspects of your relationship.
The garnish on top of the really crappy risotto.
This is the inconsequential visual aesthetic to the steaming pile of rotten vegetables that you have been served. And there's an update. I'm sorry, because I was a wreck. My life has fallen apart. And I just found out that he never loved me. No! Oh, he's a psycho! He was a psycho the whole time!
He's a 35-year-old man at the time who took advantage of a 22-year-old who he found on the internet. It's not your fault. You were manipulated into, all of these different things. But you live and you learn, and you're going to get out of this, and you're going to be all right. It's just going to take a while.
The day this all happened was my final straw. I was with him until my friend came and he kept telling me sorry, but it was just a name and some other things along the lines of the name suited him well because he looked so beautiful, just like his mom, and that I should be happy because I picked the name for him. And then some other nonsense, referring to the baby's name being, I guess, given away to someone else. Then when I left, he kept sending voice messages and I ignored him until the night I was with my parents and he called me. He told me to come back and to stop being childish over a name and not ruin our life together. Well, it's already ruined being with you.
Your life together is so bad. You can't ruin something that's already crap.
Being with you ruins my life. I asked him why he did it, and he said because she deserved it, and that he told them the name and his sister-in-law liked it, and he just couldn't make her upset because she deserves happiness and the world.
Your husband is in love with his sister-in-law.
It's weird.
Your husband is in love with his sister-in-law. He's upset because he can't have her because she's with his brother. He doesn't care about you, and we just need to go.
We need to chop him off at the root.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't hold it anymore. I told him about how he just managed to ruin everything for me, about how he took that one thing that was mine and gave it to her, about how he just sucked the joy out of anything for me, and that I had to live like this for years. I told him that I was done and that I wanted to be an individual person on my own, and that I didn't need or want him anymore. I told him to go and live with his brother's family and wife, and that I would be naming my child myself. He cursed me a lot, and at the end told me that he never thought I would ever be able to leave him. And now that I have, I will never be able to find a good man because I am a damaged good. He said that he never
No.
loved me, and I was just a time pass for him to fulfill his wishes.
He's crazy.
He's just saying whatever he
Yeah.
can say to you to hurt your feelings.
Exactly. Don't listen to him. You're not damaged goods.
Not at all.
He's crazy.
He is damaged goods.
He's damaged goods. His sister-in-law doesn't want to be with him, no matter how much he wants that. So
Yeah.
just be thankful that he is letting you free.
Truly. He's upset that you're leaving him because he thought it would never happen, and he's
Mhm.
being very transparent
He
about
thought he
it
can control you
by being
forever.
nasty.
And you're realizing that you have free will and are an autonomous person. And he's like, wait, no.
But you don't ever have to wait for more full episodes with stories just like this one that you can listen to on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Just search OK Storytime. And you got a whole lot to listen to.
Sure do.
And there is just a little bit left of this story.
Let's hit it.
My dad yelled at him, and some things were said, but yes, I've decided to end everything and move far away from him and to name my baby myself. I'm exhausted, hurt, and shamed. I feel ugly. I feel like I don't even know myself anymore. The only thing I'm alive for is my baby right now and my parents, and I'm filled with loads of regret. I will be okay because I have my parents, and there are comments, but stay strong, OP.
Yeah. You've got your parents. You have a support system. That's good.
Believe a man when he says he doesn't love you. He's in love with his sister-in-law. I'm sorry that this happened to you. OP replies, I had my doubts all the time, but now I believe it. Even told him to come clean. He just denied it and got angry at me, which is its own sort of confirmation.
Yeah.
Because why would you get mad about that? You'd be more like, what?
What are you talking
More
about?
like confused.
Yeah.
You get
No.
mad, it's because you know it's true.
It's true.
And that is the end of that story.
That's true too. But we've got another one coming right up. I started treating my husband the way he treats me, and he completely lost it.
Hey, it looks like you can give it, but you can't take it.
Yesterday, we had a huge fight about household chores. My husband helps with laundry every Saturday and empties the dishwasher at best once a week.
What do you mean? You only do dishes once a week.
That's it. Last night, he got pissed while he was drinking and decided to go clean his toilet and bathroom floor at like 10 at night with the woe is me. I can't believe I had to do this
Well, you should have thought that. You should have thought about that before you were a stinky boy with a smelly
Attitude.
bathroom.
And he kept arguing with me from the bathroom. I told him that just because he cleans his pissy bathroom once every 3 months, that doesn't make him effing Cinderella. By the way, this comes from Christmas, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, him saying that he has to do everything around the house got me seeing red. I went to bed without washing the dishes or clearing the kitchen. This morning, I got my breakfast, did not touch the dishes, and sat in front of my computer. When I was done eating, I put my dishes on the counter and left them there. I'm not doing those dishes, and I'm not cooking dinner. We have sat down and had several conversations about this several times. I bet my father never had to clean the bathroom, is the kind of response I usually get from him. Updates. Are we eating dinner tonight? I don't know. Are you cooking dinner? Okay, wow. Well, I figured since you said you do everything around here, I could just chill and you take care of it like you always do. He made himself a sandwich and had dinner at his computer. I made myself some food and ate it in the living room. A couple hours later, he announced he ran the dishwasher because the dirty dishes stunk.
He asked if I was boycotting that too. Well, like I said, since you do everything around here, I figured you had it under control. He said I was brutal. He leaned over to drink some water, and guess what? No water. In 16 years, he hasn't done that chore once. I told him that crap doesn't just happen by magic and turned off the light.
No water?
No, I mean, I'm assuming it's like a Brita or something. That's what I was
Never
thinking.
refilled the water filter.
I opened up to a friend who had been through a divorce and had some good advice. Was it divorce? My next step is to get an appointment with a therapist. And there is an update 16 months later. Wow.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that everything has changed.
Yeah, he's turned his whole life around.
Yeah.
Their marriage is perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to say that he woke up.
About 2 months after the original post, I made my first therapy appointment. I've been seeing them weekly since then. Having someone to talk to that had no stake in the game made the most difference. I didn't even realize how isolated I was. Still, I started hearing things like, that's not normal in a respectful, equitable relationship. Opening up to my therapist helped me open up to other people. First, a friend who had gone through divorce, then more friends, then my sister, then my mother. What I heard across the board was, that's not normal. He's an a-hole. We met 20 years ago, moved in together 17 years ago, and got married 13 years ago. You've been dealing with this for that long?
Maybe has it always been that bad, I wonder?
I was 23 when we met and had never lived with a partner before. When the berating started because I wasn't pulling my weight once I moved into his house, I just thought, I'm so lazy. I didn't think it was weird that he let his elderly mother cook for him every night, despite her health issues, or that his dry cleaning became my responsibility even though he drove by the cleaners 4 times a day, or that he would talk about his money, his house, his bedroom. Whenever I brought my concerns to him, he would give very long speeches about everything I didn't do and all the bad things happening to him, which excused him from responsibility. He was the king of, I'm sorry, but I would end up comforting him. So I'd lock myself in my bathroom to cry. After a while, I stopped trying. And after years of this, I stopped crying.
Oh, no.
It's tragic.
Oh.
He was 51 when we met. I was 23. Wow. Yep, there it is. Yep. Yeah, wow. I'm sorry. He was 53 having his sickly mother make him dinner every night, and then he found a 23-year-old maid to marry. How old is he now?
70s.
Jeez.
Are we in a nightmare? Why? Did we do this?
He had been married twice before. When his DNA results from an ancestry kit showed up, I found out he had a son he knew about all along and gave up for adoption. This was 15 years after we met and 9 years after we got married. Eventually, they met in person, and I started observing his interactions with his son and noticed the same patterns. And I thought, if it makes me upset that he treats his son that way, why am I not as upset that he treats me that way too? After a lot of therapy and educating myself, I was ready to accept I was in an unhappy, harmful marriage. He got a full medical workup after he developed encephalopathy
Yes.
from booze withdrawal that won him a stay in the ICU. I went with him to the results appointment, and there were no traces of anything wrong. As soon as we got home, I sat him down, and for 2 hours, I vomited out all my concerns, fears, disappointments. I set 2 boundaries. I would not purchase booze for him, and I would not talk about our relationship if he had been drinking. I laid out a plan for how our marriage could be more equitable. I asked him to go to counseling. He said he wasn't crazy. I asked him to be in charge of dinner 1 night a week. I have a full-time job. He is retired. But his health issues would always be bothering him that exact day. He would not participate in household chores, always giving the excuse that his pain would not allow it. So I asked for things he could do sitting at his computer, plan meals, find recipes, text the lawn guy. That didn't work either. Too depressed, too anxious, too overwhelmed. He would text me while I was working so I could call someone for him even though he was home. When I moved to the States, I had a man who loved me and I was looking forward to my new life. but he was looking forward to a younger woman who would cater to all of his needs and take care of him in his old age. I was the chef, the maid, the planner, the therapist, the nurse. I was also the too sensitive, the lazy butt, the radical feminist. Last
Radical
Christmas, yeah.
feminism.
Yeah.
Making a man do basic household chores.
This is ridiculous. My father would never have stood for this.
Well, I built that railroad with my big toes, and you're not going to make me do the dishes when I have chronic big toe pain.
And that's what he said. Last Christmas, 2023, I told him I wanted to do a small holiday. We'd get a small tree, maybe make ornaments together, but he pouted and didn't participate. As we were watching our Christmas Eve movie and he was witching about how I didn't make his favorite shrimp, a switch flipped in me and I just knew our marriage was over.
Bruh, that switch should have been
Flipped 20 years
long
ago.
ago.
But I'm glad it flipped now. A week later, I started browsing rental ads. Early in 2024, I contacted landlords. And after unanswered applications, my therapist mentioned an apartment building. I called and someone would be moving out in about a month. When I saw it, I knew that was my next step. I got my keys about a month ago and spent many days sneaking my stuff out. When I had taken everything I could without him noticing, I brainstormed with my therapist, best friend, sister, and mother on how to break the news.
Your sister and mother, were okay with this?
Well, it seems like they were all, when OP told them what was going on, they all said, that's terrible, that's not okay, he's an a-hole.
I mean,
So maybe they were just holding it in?
if I had a family member who is
Yeah.
23 getting married to
Yeah.
a 50-year-old man,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, every element of this has got to be A+ territory if this is going to be
Agreed.
like a sign, hey, we're okay with this.
Yeah. I walked up to him and said, for the sake of our marriage and for both our sakes, I cannot be here anymore, and He just got really down and felt sorry for himself. It was the weirdest 2 days ever, where I'd be packing and quietly crying while he'd just be sitting there either talking about other things or not talking at all. 2 days later, I had packed 95% of my things. He kept asking if I had everything I needed, even made me a care package with sleeping aids. I put clean sheets on the bed, hugged him, hugged my dogs, and left. I have never cried so much in my life. Years of unhappiness and repressed emotions all came back. But I realized the crying wasn't hurting me. It was the fear of crying that was giving me anxiety. So I started letting myself cry. My boss, who was also a close friend, really showed up for me. She made sure I felt supported at work, had meals with me, and let me vent. I moved out on Wednesday. That day was emotionally horrifying. Thursday was also horrible, but on Friday, after dinner with my boss, I put on some music and realized I actually effing did it! I moved out! I advocated for myself and made it happen. My therapist told me my husband was showing self-absorbed behaviors. I was shocked because he's always down on himself and needs validation. She said narcissism is deeply rooted in insecurity and can present in different ways. I had no idea there was covert or vulnerable narcissism. The more I read, the more it sounded exactly like him. There is no fixing a marriage with someone with NPD. By the way, you can fix your relationship with us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Congratulations.
Nice. Good job. I'm proud of you, OP. That was a big leap to make, and
Yeah.
you did it.
Especially after the amount of time you'd
20
been there.
years, yeah.
A lot of people probably would not ever get out of that
No.
until their partner just passed away.
Yeah. When I left, he was bizarrely calm and loving, but later that night, the pestering started again. He said I was leaving him alone. He had no one to take care of him. He hurt too much to make food or order food, and I was going to unalive him. Begging me to drop him off food, literal all caps, I'm begging you several times. I didn't cave because he's a grown butt man, and I decided it was time to take care of myself. I've been back twice to see my dogs. I was not able to find a place that would allow large dogs, and it was basically me hanging out with the dogs while he went on about his misfortunes.
Yeah, dude. For real, Hey, buddy, survival of the fittest. If you can't figure out how to order food to your house, I don't know what to tell you.
Yep.
You might not be cut out for it, you know?
Agreed. A divorce is definitely in the cards, but a lot more of my ducks need to be in a row for that. And that is the end of that story. Leave that man behind and live your best life, girl. You got this. Oh, boy.
Mother of goodness.
Yeah, what a terrible guy. Just truly dreadful. I think my husband is sabotaging me after saying he's supportive of me.
He's pulling the old switcheroo.
I, 39 female, have been working as a licensed home daycare provider while raising and homeschooling my 4 kids. This was a sacrifice for my family. I've always been upfront about wanting a career outside of the home. Now that my kids are older and in public school full time, I can finally pursue something that can bring more professional satisfaction. By the way, this comes from OKFloor4717, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, this is my second attempt to get an education and rejoin the workforce. During the vid, I closed my daycare and started an online Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, which my husband, 47 male, said he supported. I brought up enrolling my daughter, 4, in preschool 2 days a week for 2.5 hours each day, so I could get some time to work on my coursework. It was a huge fight because he'd have to drop her off and pick her up 5 minutes away. That was the huge fight? He's like, oh,
We're talking about 5 minutes?
5 minutes? I hate my daughter. He was working from home at the time. After 2 weeks of loud disagreements over giving me kid-free time, he finally relented, giving me 5 hours a week to work on schoolwork. I was also waking up at 4 a.m. to get in more time to work on my courses, and of course, there were weekends. It wasn't ideal, but my daughter would be in full-time kindergarten the next year. He couldn't or wouldn't keep the kids quiet in the evenings, so I couldn't sleep when I needed to, and my mornings got derailed. Weekends were hit or miss with loud kids, and my husband needed to do important household tasks. Someone once described this as weaponized responsibility, and I think that fits. Long story short, pursuing the degree became impossible, so I took incompletes on my courses and dropped out. Your husband sucks for that. The fact that you were trying to improve your life and follow your dreams, and he couldn't even help you out for a couple hours a day.
Literally zero support. What's the point of being in a relationship with someone who won't support you at all?
This destroyed my confidence and sense of self as I've always been driven. Now to today. My daughter is in school full time, and I've finally regained enough confidence to try again. With the tech sector layoffs, I decided to pursue something else that feels like the perfect fit. A 2-year library tech program. I enrolled and worked hard in my courses, getting a 2-week buffer. Then my husband announced he was going on a 2-week work trip, strongly requested but not required, meaning I'd be solo parenting and taking care of our new puppy who woke at night. I could balance the puppy waking and school because I slept in until 8 a.m., and my husband handled the early bus child. But with this work trip, I was night waking and early morning waking. I lost my buffer completely. Then, when he got home, he brought a cold. That knocked me on my butt for 10 days. In the end, I had 3 late assignments and had to scramble to catch up. I've been actively applying for jobs in the field, and I have an interview for tomorrow. I got a haircut and bought some professional clothes since Hobo Mommy isn't going to cut it. Comfy as heck, though. My husband repeatedly suggested I try on some of my outfits so we could pick the best one for tomorrow. I relented. He criticized every single one. I thought that was going to be a cute moment where he's like, I want to see my schmexy wife.
That's where your optimism has overtaken reality.
God.
This guy is too stinky to be cute.
Now there is literally nothing I can wear tomorrow that he didn't talk crap about. I'll have his negative comments swimming in my head while on my first job interview in over 15 years. I yelled at him and asked what the point of this humiliation ritual was. He said it was to hype me up. Huh? How? How
So
was that?
He's just a liar.
I demanded he explained how trashing every outfit I might wear was supposed to hype me up. He sighed and said, I guess my intentions don't matter.
Yeah, no, they actually
Aw.
don't.
Aw.
We've
They
had this
don't.
discussion. They don't.
Your
If
intentions
you
mean
intended
nothing.
it as one way and it came across as a completely different way, you need to accept that.
Yep. He tried to backpedal and say something he liked about each one, but the damage was already done. I yelled at him, asking why I couldn't just wake up tomorrow and use my own judgment to pick an outfit I felt good in. I accused him of sabotaging me and told him to leave our room. Now I'm sitting here feeling like garbage. All my excitement over my possible dream job, major life change, step forward, and all that jazz is gone. Any advice? There's some comments, but do you have any advice for OP?
I mean, by all rights, it doesn't sound like this is a very healthy relationship.
No. I mean, just going back to you you bringing up, hey, I want to pursue this big life change and I need a little bit of support, and him not even wanting to drive 5 minutes to pick up your daughter. Pretty telling.
It really is, and I don't know if it's going to be sustainable if he's not willing to be open to change, especially by being like, why did you do this? And then he goes, I didn't. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, I guess my intent doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't see without a big pivot on his end anything getting better, and if that's the case, I think it might be best for it to be over. I know we only have a small window here, but it really doesn't sound like
Yeah.
it would be
At
good
least
because
therapy.
it's also like you could do couples therapy and hopefully he changes from that and hopefully he sees the light, but like it just I don't think it's a good environment for your kid to see
No.
because then it's like, oh, this is normal. This should
Yeah,
not be normal.
It shouldn't be normalized. Comments. Comment 1 says, you are not overreacting. He really is trying to sabotage your success. He should be supportive, but for some reason he wants to hold you back and keep you in place. And update. I think the job interview went well. I'll have to wait for a call for round 2 to know for sure. In answer to some questions to the people nitpicking over word choices while missing the entire point, don't you have better things to do?
They don't.
They don't. I said my children because that's the correct way to identify your children when talking with strangers. I said I decided because who else is supposed to decide what I do with my life? Of course I talked to my husband. Did you miss the part where he said he was supportive while his actions were anything but? It's like you're trying so hard to make this my fault that you resort to twisting yourself into linguistic pretzels to feel like you made a point. Honestly, I'm embarrassed for you. Next. To people not understanding what my typical day was like during my first attempt, 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. online schooling, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. morning routine with kids, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. full-time parenting my preschooler. 2 days a week, my daughter was at preschool for 2.5 hours, during which time I did online schooling. 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. cooking, cleaning, and starting bedtime routines. 8 p.m. attempted sleep, but my husband made that impossible. Weekends, I wanted time for schooling, but my husband often made that impossible too. So how exactly was I having an affair when I never left the house?
Dang, that's what people are saying in the comments?
Crazy.
What is this thread on? Like the r/lonely men
Yeah.
subreddit? What?
Or how I was somehow neglecting my kids and household by doing school all day every day. Again, I had a preschooler in preschool for 5 hours total a week. Not daily. Where exactly do you think she was when she wasn't in preschool? This low-level critical thinking is not it. Do better. The puppy is 100% mine. We have another dog, my husband's, and 2 cats, my son's. Aside from temporary nighttime waking, it's not a bad adjustment. I got a puppy because I've been incredibly lonely over the years. There is basically no emotional connection with my husband. Despite my repeated efforts over the years to maintain that connection, girl, leave him.
It really is starting to be like screaming. Leave. It's probably for the best. It's going to be scary, but it's for the best.
Yeah. My kids are old enough to prioritize socializing with same-age peers, which is appropriate, as they are not responsible for my emotional needs. Good that you know that. While burning out from sunrise to sunset in my home, I was unable to build and maintain close friendships. The puppy dramatically improved my confidence, as I've had tremendous success in training him despite being a more stubborn breed that many consider untrainable. He is one of the few things in life that brings me joy at this point. Yes, I'm sure my husband is afraid I'll leave. It's a chicken and egg situation. I've always been clear about wanting an education and a career and about my growing misery, hoping we could work on improving our marriage. The more he tries to sabotage my independence to keep me from leaving, the more he necessitates that independence and guarantees my leaving. My husband has seen this post and your comments. He thinks the bitter dudes need reading comprehension skills. Aside from everything I pointed out above regarding scheduling and literally never leaving the house, he thought it was absurd to suggest that doing everything around the house meant I wasn't sacrificing for or supporting him in his career, especially solo while he was on work trips. That's how he managed to get huge raises and promotions. He also thought it was insane to point out that parenting means sacrifices, when I literally did sacrifice everything for nearly 2 decades, while he hasn't. See, this is the problem. Rhetorically, my husband gets it. He can see and call out the absurdity, misogyny, and abuse when other people do it. He can clearly identify and articulate the issues with those guys' comments. But when it comes to his own behavior, it's like he's got blinders on.
That's an interesting little wrinkle.
I think this is like a lot of people do this. I think a lot of people can point out that level of misogyny, or even people point out but don't do the mental work that it takes to recognize when you are doing it, or are too defensive to understand that they're doing it.
Maybe you really could get him to see the light in some like a good counseling session, maybe.
But some big
Get him to
change needs
action.
to be made, because you literally said for years you have felt lonely and no emotional connection.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to take action.
Yeah.
Instead of just passively saying things.
But you need to take action and listen to full episodes, stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story.
All right.
So let's get to it.
Let's go.
After the fact, after fighting about it and disrupting everything I'm trying to focus my efforts on, he'll admit his behavior was destructive and say sorry, but his daily operating is self-centered and unwilling to do anything that might cause him even the smallest inconvenience, like driving our daughter to preschool, even if the reward could be huge, like doubling our income. He is a fundamentally self-centered person. He was not like this when we got together. I'm doing what I can with the resources I have to regain my independence. My kids are old enough that I can and will leave the home to work if I need to. My son is old enough to babysit, and we have many stay-at-home mom neighbors who are available in the event of an emergency. Leaving takes time. Don't ask someone why they haven't left. Ask them how you can support their transition. Victim blaming is gross. I hope that you can get out of there. It seems like you really want to.
And victim blaming is gross.
It is gross. It seems like OP is fully set on wanting to leave. It's just a matter of having the funds and the ability to.
Matter of getting it done.
Yeah.
Our business is failing because of my husband's negligence. Get him out of there. My husband and I own a small restaurant in the middle of nowhere. We both love cooking and sharing food with other people. And while this wasn't my dream, it definitely was his. And I allowed him to talk me into it. I absolutely love it. I love the hustle and bustle. Our locals who have grown to know, meeting new people, traveling through, and challenging myself to do new things. I honestly couldn't pick a better job for me. By the way, this comes from Pretend It's Alive on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We read them. That's right. And you can submit yours on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And we try to give our best advice. We haven't experienced most of these situations ourselves, but if you have, please comment below. And OP says, our agreement from the start was that I would manage the up front of the house and he has the back. All right.
Okay. Front of
Fair.
house, back of house.
I will say the back of the house has many more tasks and larger staff, but he wanted nothing to do with the front of the house. And I take on other responsibilities in our life, like maintaining the house. Plus, this is his dream, so he would take on a little bit more work on the restaurant, which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, back of house is harder than front of house.
Yeah.
It's facts.
Or I guess it's like the podcast. It's like being here is tough, but so being the editor or someone finding the story, there's like a lot of other aspects of it.
Yeah.
I also plan and prep our weekly specials: lunch, side, soup, salad, dessert, and Sunday dinner. Imagine having to pick a different thing every week. Oh my gosh. And do all of the grocery shopping.
So it's not like I don't do my share. I work 6 days a week, as does he. In the beginning, I was very involved in the kitchen works, helping him organize, manage staff, train, stock, etc. The first year, we really tackled everything together. We were in so far over our heads. As I got a handle on how to actually run a restaurant, I developed systems to keep things organized and running smoothly. I set these systems in place in the front of the house, and it wasn't perfect, but it helped me so much. Over time, we refined them in a way that keeps everything up front moving relatively smooth. Yeah, my buddy Rex, he works for a couple that started a restaurant. I feel like this is her talking.
That would be crazy if that was the same restaurant.
Brooke? Is this you? Did you write this? I'll text her. Back of the house? Not so much. My husband is not an organized person, often doesn't do things until it's an emergency, and really struggles to delegate tasks. I also feel that he just lets himself off the hook way too easy. For example, everyone is supposed to stock the sauces at the end of the shift. If he has a hard shift or an even moderately busy shift and he's tired, he will just decide not to do that. Or if he decides that the sauce levels are enough for the next shift to get started, not necessarily getting finished, but just started, he won't stock.
Nah, dude. Can't be pulling that. Not as the leader. As the
Yeah.
leader of the kitchen, you got to do everything right.
You have to. No cutting corners.
You can't, because
But-
then the whole business starts to be affected by it because the rest of the staff sees the owner cutting corners.
Yep.
And then they're like, well, if he does it, why should I do it? Yeah.
Ugh. This honestly bites him in the butt more than it does anything else, as he's the one that ends up having to restock things in the middle of a shift, often in the middle of a rush, which leads to him panicking and for service to be slowed down. What's worse is that he tells staff to do the same thing. If he doesn't want to do the stocking or train them or teach them how to do it right, he just won't. And they will just sit there on their phones.
What?
Just sitting on their phones?
Bro, back of house on their phones is insane. Whatever he's doing, he's not running it right.
He's not. Yeah, like here at our place, we like didn't really have. We had some structure, but it was more like word of mouth. But then we started doing like these SOPs, and I feel like that really leveled up how much stuff we get done. I'm the one that knows a lot of stuff, but I have to like show Keon, Dakota, or Sophia how to do something all the time. I can't go out and like do other things, and it probably is helpful to have like a simple guide
Yeah.
rather than me, because I might forget something whenever I teach you like the third or fourth time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So having those systems in place really help. I think everyone, like, hasn't it kind of helped having those SOPs around just to like reference?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, sometimes it's better than not. It helps a little bit. We are literally paying for so many people just to sit on their phones waiting for orders to come in. That wouldn't slide at Perkins.
Well, that's just like you're staffed all wrong. If you've got people who can just be on their phones, then it's like you're working too many people.
It's not even just stocking, though. It's putting things away, cleaning, organizing. All of it just gets left undone. Up until a year ago, I was regularly working 1 to 2 kitchen shifts, training staff when I was on shift, and doing all the cleaning and organizing, just for him to come in the next day and undo it all. He just leaves things wherever he wants and then is upset when he doesn't know he is out of something or that it's gone missing. Dude, you need, what's that show from Gordon Ramsay?
Kitchen nightmares.
Yeah, you need that
You need kitchen nightmares, dude.
right now.
Look at me eyes! Not as pissed as I am! You are!
I don't like saying this, but some people are stubborn and they're not going to change.
Yeah.
You can hope, wish, pray that they will change. They just won't.
It just sounds like you need to be in charge of staffing for sure. You need to be in charge of the people and being like, hey, you, why isn't this done? Do that. Do this. Do these things.
Exactly. I've tried talking to him about this so many times before. To be fair, some of these times I was too angry or frustrated to have a good conversation about it. But many times I've come with him with a clear and level head, wanting to discuss our options and what we can do to fix this problem. He gets very defensive and starts talking about my standards being too high. Nothing is ever good enough. He's exhausted, etc. That I just want to complain at him but never have any input on how to help, which is BS. I concur.
I concur.
I have sat down and tried to help him write the same kind of policies and procedures for the back of the house as I have for the fronts.
Dude, SOP.
Systems of processes.
Is that what that's called?
I mean,
I thought it was standard operating procedure.
we need an SOP on what that stands for.
Dang, we need an SOP for what SOP stands for.
What does SOP stand for? A thing given or done.
But that's a
as it can
SOP, not the acronym. That's like the word SOP.
But that really does have. Or it means a piece of bread dipped in gravy.
We're just a bunch of gravy boys over here. Dang.
Anyways.
I misunderstood you. I put gravy and bread all over the computers.
No! Oh, man.
I thought it was weird that you asked me to do that.
That's what you asked, man. I wouldn't know what to do. I'm like, there's gravy everywhere.
If I filled the computer
With gravy?
with gravy,
I would literally.
I think you would know to
scream.
get rid of me. I think that would be the
I would
first
put
thing.
gasoline on myself and light myself on fire and run around. He just sits there, checks out on his phone, agrees to everything I say, giving zero input, and then forgets it all immediately, never insisting it. Just like now.
It's just like a look.
Just like you were
No,
just now.
no.
Literally, as soon as I started reading,
I was locked in.
Dakota goes to his phone.
I was locked in.
He's
I had girlfriend text.
yeah. Forgetting everything I just said. What did I just say?
It's not about what you just said. It's that this guy doesn't want to take any accountability, and when he gets confronted, he's just like, "You're just blah blah blah. You just want to say this stuff to me," and it's like, dude,
I'm trying to help.
maybe bring in a mediator.
Do you like putting
Gordon
salt
Ramsay.
in the middle of your shift every time it gets busy? Do you like that? Let me help you. Here we go. His manhood threatened.
Threatened. The man is threatened.
When I bring up, he says he just doesn't work the same way I work. I love that excuse so much. It's my favorite. Which is fair enough, but I can't teach him to do something in a way I don't know. I only know what works for me and how I do it. A year ago, I told him I was done. I was done cleaning the kitchen, organizing, training, cooking, other than my menu, all of it. I was done. My front of the house has to go without support from me so often because he needs me, and I am done. At one point, he told me he just didn't have the budget to bring people in for training. So I took on double shifts for months in order to free up money on the payroll so he could bring people in for training. And no training got done. It's taking you for granted, dude.
I can see this in Kitchen Nightmares.
You are the Oompa Loompa in Snowpiercer before you gone extinct.
This guy and the Snowpiercer.
Did you even watch that
really
video I
of
sent
course,
you?
I've watched all of the ones that you send me. At least part of them.
You need to watch it all. You can't deny it until you watch it.
The director said he was inspired by Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So, I was working doubles 3 days a week while still working my other 3 days a week. One which I worked a full day. Not just waitressing a double, all to give him more money on the payroll, and he didn't do any training. We promoted our head cook to kitchen manager to give him more support. That was almost a year ago, and he still hasn't sat down with her to go over what he would like her to manage.
Man, look, sell your business and get a food truck and have him just work the food truck because that's what this guy wants.
I think so.
Like straight up, like everything that he's doing is just like a guy who does not want to be the owner of a restaurant. He just wants to cook.
This is what I'm saying. He's an artist. Whenever I talk to people about social media, there's people that talk about like how to like expand it and make it grow. And there's other people that like are really dedicated to their work. A food truck is a brilliant idea because I think he's super dedicated to his work that he's not willing to delegate it or give anything off because he wants to make sure if he's putting his name beside of it, it's good.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if I trust that because
It's
how's his cooking?
If you're slacking on the sauce prep, your heart's not all the way in it.
Oh, dang.
If you're slacking on putting stuff back, you know,
it might be a wrap. Time
I
for a
can't.
wrap.
Yeah, that's its own thing. But that's why you have staff. But if you're not training your staff, if no one on your staff knows what they're supposed to do and they just sit around all day and do nothing, and then stuff is still not done at the end of the day, you're failing.
Yeah. He undermines her when she tries to do, just like he did me. So she's doing her best, but just as frustrated. She leaves prep/cleaning lists, and he tells them not to worry about it, or just doesn't make sure they do it when he's there.
Oh, I think I'm seeing what this really is about.
He doesn't like women
No,
telling him what to
he
do.
doesn't want to be that guy. He can't be the guy who's like, hey, you have to clean this. He wants to be like, it's all good, dude. We're all hanging out. We're a fun crew here at the kitchen.
Vibes.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, a kitchen? Nuh-uh.
This brings us to today. I dropped my phone under the warmer while I was doing prep, and when I went to retrieve it, I found about half an inch of grease and grime underneath the warmer. It has not been cleaned under there since the last time we had a health inspection. When I retrieved my phone, it was covered in grease and grime, and I very calmly looked at him and said, "Hun, I know you've been busy, but we've got to figure out a way to get a deep clean schedule for this kitchen. It's gross." He, of course, got super defensive and started redirecting everything back at me, saying, "I just want him to work all day, every day, and he never has time off, and he's so exhausted," and so many other things.
Hey, genius. You ever heard about owning a restaurant before?
That's the program. I mean, truly, it's your whole life when you own a restaurant.
I would like to run a restaurant for a year just to see how it's like.
I don't think you would.
I think
it's
you're right.
abysmal. Like,
you're right.
you have to absolutely love it for it to be not the worst job ever.
Yeah. I literally told him 3 times, I don't want to argue. I'm just saying this is something we need to work on. I even offered to help him figure out, and he just kept going on at me about how unreasonable I was being and it not being his fault, essentially.
Dude, I would straight up, I'd scoop that grease and I'd go.
I exploded. I literally yelled at him. I mean, really yelled that I was not going to take this anymore. I was not going to be blamed, and I wasn't going to be made to feel like what I'm asking for is unreasonable. I wasn't going to be painted as a witch when I'm not being a witch. Well, at that point, I was being one, but I felt like it was necessary, even if it wasn't my finest moment. His biggest excuse is that he doesn't have the skill to be a manager naturally, which he says a lot and implies that I just came by this without any work. But I didn't. I researched it, read books, reached out to people for guidance, listened to podcasts, took every free class I could find. I literally put in so much work into it. And I've talked to him about it, sent him links, all this stuff to use to learn, shared what I learned. I just didn't do it for him.
Does this guy know what a baby is?
And you're going to be a baby if you don't go to your favorite podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime on your favorite podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We have many stories like this. OK Storytime. I don't think he does.
Dude's acting like he was born and knew how to walk, knew how to talk, knew how to eat right, knew what the sky was. You can learn new things, buddy, even if you don't know how to do them right now.
It takes time to learn. You got to be really patient with it. This is so frustrating. I wouldn't take it. I'd be like, I can't be in this restaurant with you.
Can you imagine the absolute hellfire that would rain down upon him if Gordon Ramsay went under that warmer and there was a half-inch of grease under it?
6 inches.
That's
6 inches, dude.
Stop it.
You said half a foot. I gave it in a different
half a foot.
metric.
No, half an inch.
Oh.
If there were 6 inches of grease under there, an actual like cake.
To a fly, that's 6 inches.
What?
Half an inch is 6 inches to a.
I don't know what fly conversions are. All right. My point is that is disgusting. The kitchen needs to be the cleanest part of the restaurant.
Yeah, because there's food being cooked there.
You were completely justified in crashing out at your husband over that.
He's someone who complains all the time about incompetence just being laziness. Anyone can learn anything they want to, especially in a world with YouTube. But he doesn't seem to apply that standard to himself. Anyone have any advice on how to handle this? How to talk to him without fighting? How to get him to take this serious? Or is it me? Am I being the a-hole by not giving him more help where I can truly see he's struggling? We're already at a point that the kitchen is dysfunctional, is causing problems, and I fear that it's holding us back from growing. Eventually, I think it's what will unalive us, which would be devastating after all the work we've put in for the last 3 years. I think when it comes to relationships, sometimes partners put a lot on each other. Like, I want you to be my wife. I want you to be my husband. I want you to be my business partner. I want you to be the father of my children, mother of my children. I need this. I expect this. How's home life doing? Is it like this at home?
Yeah, it's got to probably bleed over, right? Like,
of course. That's a part of why I had to move is because I was just exposed all the time to the podcast. And
Yeah.
dude, I couldn't go to the bathroom without thinking about work.
Yeah, you had to walk through the studio.
I had to walk through here, this right here, to go to work.
Oh yeah, go to work in that bathroom. I think the biggest piece of advice I'd give you is like you need to outsource the management of the kitchen. It needs to be someone who comes in as an already very experienced manager, not like promoting the head cook to the, kitchen manager. It's like you need to bring somebody in from the outside who already knows exactly what they're doing.
Real question here. Is this restaurant profitable?
Is the food good? Number one.
Well, I think if it's profitable, it does have to correlate if the food's good.
If the food can't be bad, let's make it profit.
But that's the end of that Gordon Ramsay nightmare.
Ramges.
We got another story coming up for you guys right now.
My husband changed after he sold his dream truck for our incoming baby.
Baby can't drive.
Baby can't drive that truck.
But can't drive a baby in the Outback.
My husband, 26 male, and I, 26 female, have been together for 4 years and married for 2 of those years. We always planned on having children, but 7 months ago, we found out it was happening a lot sooner than we imagined. By the way, this comes from user March2ndX, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we are here collectively to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments, as OP says. He bought the truck right before we met. He loved it. I guess you could say he was even slightly obsessed with it. I knew this before we started dating, and it didn't change in the 4 years we have been together. He spent a lot of money on it and continued to spend a lot of money on it. Everything he did in his spare time had to do with his truck. All his friends are truck guys like him, and he's even in this cute little truck club. Yeah, what's the name of your truck club? The Cute Little Truck Club Guys.
Cute little truck club, guys. Me
we're
and my
in the
baby are in the truck club. Maybe you should get your baby into it.
TCGs? TLTCG?
TLC.
CLTCG.
And they're like, tough love and care? No. Truck love and cars.
Since we've been together, I don't think we have taken my car anywhere. We have been together, actually. He doesn't make great money, but he likes his job and still paid his portion of everything, so I never had a problem with him spending his little bit of extra money on his truck. We found out I was pregnant, and we were both scared, shocked, and excited. A few months ago, he brought up that he doesn't know if he'll be able to afford the truck and the baby. I didn't even know if it would be practical with how big and loud the truck is. We didn't talk about it for a while, and then a few weeks ago he told me that as much as he didn't want to, he was going to try and sell the truck because the baby was getting so close. He said he couldn't afford the payments and upkeep and maintenance on the truck if we were raising a child. He was in good spirits about it and found potential buyers very quickly.
Nice.
He sold it a couple of days later for what he wanted and bought a car the next day. It's been around 3 weeks since he sold the truck, and he has changed completely.
Aww, his truck.
No. A man without his truck.
Is like a
cat without its claws.
Yeah, there we go. A dog without its balls.
Just something is innately wrong.
Yeah, that's so sad.
We are always laughing and having fun together, and I don't think I've seen him smile since. I've done everything I can think of to make him feel better and to get his mind off it, and nothing has worked. He just comes home from work and watches TV until bed. He's mopey and just drains the energy out of the room, as mean as that sounds. I asked him why he hasn't been hanging out with his friends anymore, and he told me because he sold his truck.
What friends are those?
He only hung out with his friends because they bonded over a truck.
Why didn't you just maybe sell your truck to get a different truck that is maybe more feasible to own while having a child?
Dang, man. This poor guy just doesn't have any non-truck friends.
Yeah, maybe give him, I don't know.
Maybe you can join a fishing club.
Ooh, Miss Kitty Cat says, that sounds like a horse girl life.
I guess so.
I mean, that
Car
kind of
guys
checks
and
out.
horse girls are pretty much the same thing.
So it turns out our friends were the trucks we owned along the way.
Yeah, bummer.
And without the truck, we are friendless.
Bummer.
He said everything they did was related to trucks somehow, and it wouldn't be the same. Last night, he told me he feels resentment and bitterness towards me, even though it was 100% his decision to sell the truck, and he doesn't know why he feels that way.
Yeah, that's an issue that he needs to fix.
What can I do to help him get past all this? Is he depressed? I just don't know what to do. I know it was just a truck, but it had more of an impact on him than I thought it would, and there are some relevant comments.
Well, first of all, not your problem. It wasn't anything that you did to cause it. The only thing I would suggest is just keep affirming that it is a big deal. It is a tough thing to lose. He cared about it deeply. If you can afford therapy.
Yeah.
And just say like, yeah, I really understand that you sacrificed this thing that you care a lot about. But remember, we're doing this for our baby that we're raising. And
having a baby.
Yeah.
And if your truck friends were only friends when you had the truck, are they really your friends?
That's a good question.
Like what else you couldn't pull up at an outing?
Yeah.
Without your truck, without it just
Yeah.
being like, oh, check out Bozo over here without his
Doesn't
truck.
have his truck.
Having a baby, so he got rid of his truck. Bozo status.
Loser.
I wonder what kind of truck it was. I'm like, oh, here we go. Okay, I found some optics. Okay, keep going.
There are some comments. Panic Bread says, sounds like it was a huge mistake to sell that truck. People don't have the ability to give up who they are just because they have children. Maybe he wouldn't have had the money to keep it in tip-top shape, but who cares? Encourage him to take some of the money from the sale and buy a less expensive truck. OP replies, yeah, I know he regrets it, but he had an $800 monthly payment on it, plus everything else. Oh my God, what truck did he buy?
Ooh, that's expensive.
I know what truck he bought. I won't say it though, because no free sponsors. I asked him why he didn't get an older and less expensive truck, and he said he would rather just have a car than downgrade from his dream truck. That's silly. You're downgrading anyway.
Yeah.
You downgraded to a car. Just if you're a truck nut, downgrade
just
to
get a truck.
a different truck.
That doesn't have $800
Silly boy.
$800 monthly payments.
Silly boy. I'm hoping he has a change of heart and decides to sell or trade the car in for a more affordable truck. He should 1000% just do that.
Yeah, just do that. And then you can go hang out with your truck friends again.
Crazy Mike says, sounds like he not only gave up his truck, but also his social circle. Being cut off from your friends feels incredibly lonely. Maybe reach out to his truck buddies for some ideas on how to re-engage him into their circle. Maybe they can find a project truck they can all work on together. If he's close with them, then surely even they don't want him to just disappear. OP replies, they have reached out to him to come hang out and such, but he said he would feel weird and kind of uncomfortable doing the kind of stuff they did before and not having his own truck.
My guy, you just do it.
My sympathy is gone for this man.
Yeah, what were you guys doing with those trucks that you have to have your own truck to do?
It's like, I just would feel weird if it wasn't my truck.
Yeah, I would just feel weird because when we would kiss and stuff, like we would always be like on the side of my truck.
Yeah.
We would kiss and
I don't
hug
have
and
those
dance and
memories
frolic.
anymore.
Come on, like
Yeah.
at this
you've
point,
been
you're
given
he's doing it to
options.
himself. He's throwing
Yeah.
himself a little pity party
He is.
over
and
something
he's about to be a parent.
100% did to himself.
Mhm.
But at
No
least
one
it
asked him
sounds
to
like
do
he
that.
knows that.
Yeah.
He's like, I am feeling resentment towards you, and I know that I did this.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I'm just grappling with that. Brother, the solution is just getting the truck.
Just
Getting
get a
Get a
truck.
truck.
Or hang out with your friends without the truck.
Yeah.
One of those.
What kind of truck did the husband had? He had a Ram 3500 Cummins. I hope he comes around and becomes okay with getting a smaller, maybe inferior truck.
Yeah, so this is the one he had, Dakota?
Yeah, that's a $70,000 truck.
Yeah, and then I was thinking he could get a truck like this.
Yeah,
Ford Ranger.
Little truck. Little reasonable
Toyota
truck.
Tacoma. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just a downgrade. Something that has 2 doors still, so you
Yeah.
can put the baby in there.
Get that baby in there.
And there's a last comment from OP here. Thanks for all the feedback and advice. We have a doctor's appointment today, and I'm going to try to talk to him more about it after. And there's an update. It just sounds so simple that the solution
sounds
to this
like
is
a-
he just
yeah.
buys another truck and stops being a baby.
And I think he knows that. And I'm hoping that he takes another week to mope and then kind of gets back on his feet.
Can't be a baby when you got one on the way.
Yeah, I
Well-
can't have 2 babies.
I don't know. He sacrificed a lot for himself for a kid. It's tough. He can bounce
Absolutely.
back.
Which is why I'm hoping that maybe in a week he'll be fine.
Dakota has no sympathy for this man.
Get a Toyota Hilux. 1985 Toyota Hilux. Will never treat you wrong. Update 3 weeks later. I wanted to post an update because it's nice reading positive outcomes on here. I got a lot of responses and it really helped me better understand what he was going through. We were finally able to have a good talk about it. He told me what a lot of you said, that the truck was his identity and part of who he was.
Checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, come on, man. Honestly, I get it to some extent, but if your whole identity is an object, I don't know. That seems flimsy.
Yeah.
If I took the sawmill away from my grandpa, I feel like he'd have a hard time adjusting.
But that's more if you took away he was a mechanic and he sold his business.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
that's,
I think
Okay,
he's
a chainsaw. He sold all his chainsaws.
But the thing to me that's getting me is he could have just gotten a different
Yeah.
truck. But he instead went all the way to car, knowing that he would have this kind of response.
I don't think he did know he would have this kind of response. I think he was happy, and then he was like, "My truck." It's like, this is such a niche reference. Not that niche, but in Boy Meets World, one of the characters, Topanga, she's trying to teach Corey, the main character, this lesson about like your appearance, your outward appearances don't matter, and I don't really care about my appearance. And so she has very long hair. She just cuts it. She's like, "See, I'm fine." And then a minute later, she's like, and I feel like that's what happened to him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Wait, my truck."
You should have just bought an old Toyota, my guy.
I think he'll get over it.
I told him I knew he didn't want that car he bought, and he told me I was right. We talked more and eventually figured out something that would work. He sold the car he had, and we agreed he could just use mine. Our schedule works out to where he could take me to work and pick me up on time. It wasn't a big hassle, and I was going on maternity leave soon anyways.
Wait, so now both of you just don't have a car? Or I mean,
I think they're getting
you
to
only
a
have one
game plan
car?
here in a
Okay,
second.
okay.
Yeah,
He's, I think, selling his car and gonna use it to...
to save up for a new one.
Maybe.
truck.
Okay.
By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and there's a little bit more of this story here. He found a totaled truck for sale, and the engine was still in good condition. It was the engine he wanted. He bought the truck for what was supposedly a really good deal, and him and a couple friends ripped everything out that he needed and got rid of the body.
And now he has a little project to work on with his
Yes.
friends.
The engine is in our garage now. It took him a couple weeks, but he found a truck to put the engine into, and him and a friend are going to pick it up this weekend.
Aw.
He's back to his old self again, and baby's going to be here soon, and we couldn't be more excited.
Aw.
And that's the end of that story. Yay!
See, there was a solution.
All you had to do was overhaul
All
a
you had to do
truck.
was get another truck.
It's my one of my favorite terms and words.
Get another truck?
When you overhaul. Overhaul is when you take an engine and you replace the engine. You overhaul.
That's cool. Didn't know that.
That's so cute. I love it. It's a southerner's little dream.
Oh, he got a little baby. He got a truck.
Hey, he's got two babies now, and one is in the shape of an 8-cylinder V8.
But that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
For the holidays,
Stay somewhere else.
we have a 1-bedroom apartment with a 7-month-old. That's the whole story.
Whoa.
Stay somewhere else.
Yeah, stay somewhere else.
Space is already so limited. My husband's sister and her family are flying across the country to spend Christmas with us for 11 days. They insisted they stay with us instead of getting a hotel.
And that's when you say, "I'm so sorry." You can't.
Where are you gonna stay?
You paid for a flight. You can pay for a hotel.
Is that 3? My husband's sister and her family.
Her
So,
family
who
sounds like
knows?
multiple.
Could be 4 people.
I would say, hey, you will be on the floor.
You gonna
in
have
the kitchen. You'll be in the bathtub. We don't have room.
gonna be on the roof.
And that's how Jesus was born.
Yep. They just didn't have room.
They just
We're
didn't
putting
have-
you in the stable.
Of course, my husband agrees to this without talking to me.
Dude, if your husband did this, I'd be like, you're out. I'm leaving. I'm going to. You're paying for a hotel for me and the baby.
Husband? More like husband.
No,
Yeah, has been. Huh.
You're all sleeping in the
You
living
said
room.
Has been.
All of you are sleeping in the
I
living
changed
room.
it to has been.
Has been.
Been like he was.
I know. I just
He
added
been
on to it.
has.
You said husband, and then I said
You're
has.
just like the funny guy in school, okay, that just says it louder.
I said it differently. We said different things
I would throw this guy
into that
into the sun.
into the sun.
By the way, this comes from user Chico Ravelli. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we are here to give good advice goofily. Because we don't have all the freaking answers. We're just a bunch of goofballs. Let us know what you would do, though, in the comments. OP says, when he does ask me about it, I explain how it's going to be crowded. The noise has to be kept to a minimum because of the baby. My son already has trouble sleeping, so who knows how it'll be by next month. Husband is working some days while they're here, so he insists they use my car to go and do stuff while I'm home with the kid. The problem I have the most is when I speak up, he immediately says I'm against his family, even though he's always talking crap against mine. My family hasn't been over to see my son yet because they know it's going to take hotel and car rental fees. They don't insist on uprooting my entire routine for 11 days. My mom can get me discounts because she works at a hotel, but that's still not good enough for them. I think it's just rude to insist on sleeping on an air mattress that will take up half of our living room. My son will not have a safe place to play. I'll have to lock myself away to pump every 3 to 4 hours. Our routines will be shattered. I have a feeling their kid will be loud and wake the baby. Husband said, "Don't get mad if sister's kid breaks things." He's 5. I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be mad if your sister's kid is breaking all her stuff. What do you
Don't
mean?
be mad if he shatters all of your pictures and gnaws on all of your couches.
Like,
You can't be mad.
are we just going to give the kid carte blanche
Yeah.
to destroy stuff? No, the kid needs to be reprimanded.
Like a guy goes into a bank. He's like, hey, don't be mad if later I come back and I rob you guys. Okay?
Don't be
I'm
mad.
telling you now.
My 5-year-old's going to come in here and rob the bank.
He's gonna rob you guys. Don't be mad. He's 5.
He's 5. All right, just give him $20.
Just give him 25.
I am made to feel like the a-hole because I have an opinion. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Am I the a-hole? And am I the a-hole has no consensus, but there are some comments here. I would say not the a-hole because this at least has to be a discussion.
Yeah.
When you're going to host some family in a 1-bedroom apartment, it'd be different if it was a house and you had a guest room and everything.
1-bedroom apartment, and also you have a 7-month-old. So not only are you dealing with trying to host a bunch of people in a tiny place, but also you have to take care of a baby. You gotta take care of a baby.
Yeah, and they're just going to take your car
Yeah.
for 11 days.
No.
What are they gonna? If they can't afford the hotel, what happens if they get in an accident in your car? Are they gonna pay that? Guess who's responsible for that? Guess who's held on the hook for anything that happens to your car? That's you.
Yep.
Oh, comment to number 1 says, you should be rethinking this marriage. He's got 0 consideration for you. Commenter 2 says, exactly. He's showing all the classic signs of being in isolating her, he badmouths her family and probably wouldn't even let them into the home. He cuts her out of the decision-making, inviting his family to stay with them for 11 days during Christmas, and makes everything her fault. When she objects and uses logic, she is difficult and she hates his family. He makes her question her own logic and sanity, hence her post here. Comment 3 says, wanna bet he's around his 30s at least, and she is early 20s. OP says, oof, try 40 and mid-30s.
Oh.
Oof.
I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I did, man. Okay.
Is OP from an Indian culture? OP says,
Nope.
nope.
Like Indiana, like Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Exactly
You,
what
you
they
shoot threes in blue jeans?
Mm-hmm.
Comment 4 says, not the a-hole. Good grief. I'd be leaving to visit my own family with the baby for 11 days. He can deal with his sister. Good luck.
Honestly, yeah, maybe that's the solution. You go, okay, well, if they're coming here, we're going.
I mean, like, what the heck, man?
What the heck is this guy doing?
Comment 5, 11 days? No. 2 days tops for someone to sleep on an air mattress in your living room. This isn't about being against his family. It isn't a family matter at all. You simply cannot host in your home for 11 days in a 1-bedroom apartment, especially for 3 additional people. I would offer the car, but say that they can use it on specific days, not during the entire time. Or his sister can take your husband to work and use his car while he is at work. Who's buying all the food and will be cooking the meals? Commenter 6 says, you should be rethinking this marriage. He's got 0 consideration for you. And there's a 1-month update.
Oh boy, I need to hear what happened.
I think she reconsidered this marriage.
I think she must have. Because, I don't know, all that stuff about what he was saying about her family, not looking too good.
Yeah, there really are. I can't imagine not discussing with my wife
that someone's going to be
we just had a kid 7 months ago, that my family's going to be in the living room for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've already said they're coming to stay for 11 days. Maybe a night. Maybe, oh, I already discussed they're coming to stay for a day.
Yeah, maybe.
That's different.
Good compromise would be like, maybe you stay at our place for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then you can pay less for the hotel.
How about that? How about
or
that?
some, whatever.
Or you'll get an Airbnb. I don't know. Figure it out.
Literally figure it out. Update. Where to even begin unwrapping this nasty little business. I had brought up the issue with his family staying a couple times after my first post. I had to Google how to talk to a before the approach. I said how it would affect the baby and I, and how it would affect his family with me having to get up in the middle of the night, and how my son needs space for his playpen. The baby proofing a 1-bedroom has proven more difficult than I thought. He seemed understanding, however, wasn't budging on wanting them to say. I just got the old, we'll keep analyzing it. No, there's nothing left to analyze,
It's
my
not
guy.
the freaking like numbers for like your taxes. We're not analyzing anything.
Yeah, you're just knocking the can
It's
down
just
the
not
road.
happening. It's just not happening.
Since I can cancel my hotel reservations a day before check-in, I went ahead and booked 10 nights just to lock in cheap rates.
Nice.
I felt more secure having a backup in case crap hit the fan at my house. On our way to Thanksgiving, my son keeps getting blasted by sunlight while driving.
What?
So I'm just imagining
He's
just like the
He's like sleeping, and then it's just
and then the flashbang noise just
his ears are ringing.
OP continues, I have tried the usual sunshades on the windows. A few days ago, I got these curtains for the side windows. They hang on with magnets, so I grabbed them from my car and hung them in my husband's car as he was the one driving us 3 hours away to his family gathering. He kept saying the blinds were blocking his blind spots, so I tied them open so he could see, but my son could also keep some shade. After it was still a problem, my husband asked for them to be removed and proceeded to tell me how I need to ask him before I just go and do stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, we're supposed to be asking before we go and do stuff? That's funny, because I remember when you went and did stuff like, I don't know, invite your family to stay for 11 days, and we didn't talk to your partner about that. Is it just kind of a one-way street?
I think that's done.
Yeah.
I'm done
frustrated.
with this guy.
We need to go to like big old therapy
Yeah,
time
it's
together.
two avenues. You
Two
either go
avenues.
get couple counseling immediately, or it's just I'm leaving because
I'm done.
You treat me like a dog.
Yeah. At the very least, I'm staying in a hotel.
So Opie says that's when I lost my crap. I brought up the visit and how he never discussed it with me prior to telling his sister they could stay. Of course, this causes him to blow up, saying he doesn't need my permission as it is his house. Which, it's not a house, it's an apartment.
It's an apartment. It's
But-
a one-bedroom apartment, so.
It's okay. And it's not yours. I'm sure you rent it from the company that owns
Yeah.
it. Over and over, I'm told to shut the F up and man up. If this was your family, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be with a bee wife.
Oh,
A
well,
B
don't you
movie.
worry, because you're not going to be by the end of the story.
Yeah.
You're going to lose that wife and your son.
It's now the plot it needs to thicken now. Now it's time to start the scheming and
Yeah.
planning
Yep.
your exit.
Planning your, yeah.
Bro, my grandma, she used to be a magistrate. She was telling me some like juicy stuff that was happening over the years. And she said that this one girl, one night, just went to her ex-husband's and pew pew, both of them,
Oh, my God.
and just went right back to sleep.
Wait,
I bet
both
she
of
slept.
them?
I bet she slept like a rock.
Like she had
Oh,
two ex-husbands.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm
Taylorsville, North Carolina, right
I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying I bet she did sleep like a rock. Anyway, I remain calm and reiterate that it's my home too, and it's about respect that he talks to me first. It's not about control, it's about respect. Respect for my son and our routines, comfort, and safety. He then goes on to say how I don't respect him, and I just turned this around and made it about me. Holidays are classically stressful. Look at Home Alone, where they have that huge house and it's chaos. You mean
Look
the
at Home
freaking
Alone.
movie?
Look at Home Alone. They have a huge house. It's pretty chaotic. So even though we have a tiny apartment, even if we had a big house, it would be a mess. So
Man, that's crazy. That's like my mom said something like that over the
No.
when I was back home. But it was about when we went to Colombia. She was like, "Well, I've just seen those movies about how intense it is over there." I'm like, "You talking about like Sicario? Like, it's
Talk about Narcos.
Dude,
movies,
like-
yeah.
also that was like 40 years ago."
Yeah, we went to Colombia and it didn't even have the filter on it or anything.
Yeah, there was no.
The
I was
skies
gonna
were
do the
clear.
Narcos music.
I couldn't even find
Um,
any of that good candy they had either. It was hard.
Oh,
It's crazy how movies are not real.
OP continues. Okay, buddy, but this isn't a movie. It's real life. If we had a guest room, I would still be annoyed, but I would be more comfortable manning up and letting them stay, as they wouldn't obscure my routines. So, I ruined Thanksgiving. Husband stayed at work until he had to come home just to sleep. Didn't see his son for almost 3 days. I had to text him first, come and have an adult conversation with me. You haven't seen your son in 3 days. To which I get, "Oh, but I'm working." Yeah. No doy! I meant after work. And no one wants me around anyway. I'm only good for food and money. Dude, this guy sucks, honestly.
Oh,
I'd
he
be
sounds like a
drafting-
nightmare.
I'm drafting the divorce papers
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
I did not respond to this. Good Lord. Needless to say, he came home and spent time with his son. We had an adult conversation. His family staying is not changing. He said he already told them yes and doesn't want to now tell them to get a hotel. A hotel is way too expensive, even at this discount you're talking about. It's not going to be $50 a night. Well, fun fact, it actually was. I booked 10 nights for $518 total. Yeah, I told him this and he just rolls his eyes. His sister had texted me personally and asked if they could use my car to do one thing when my husband is working. She said they would rent a car if not. Just the fact that she asked with respect made me say yes to using it. We agreed that if I needed it, they would bring it back. My son and I will be okay. My thoughts: continue my routines, do what I need to do. If they can't handle it, they're free to get a hotel. I will not uproot my life for 11 days. It's not about me, it's about my son. He will be taken care of regardless of guests. And by the way, regardless of the time or place, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and get access to the treasure trove.
Yeah, it'd be fun, guys.
What? Do it.
There's so much.
We got some more story here, but man, I've never wanted to throw
yeah.
someone into the sun so hard.
This is a divorce-worthy thing, and it doesn't feel like OP is necessarily on that train yet, but I hope you get on soon, because
Hotels are $50 a night.
It's going to get worse. This is
gotta
going
get worse.
to get worse
The fact
if nothing
that he
is done.
No, the fact that he called you a B and said, "Oh, you need to tell me things, but I don't need to tell you."
Yeah.
There's a lot of double standards. There's a lot of disrespect going on. He went 3 days without seeing your son, so he clearly doesn't really care that much about his son.
Well, he's just throwing
Yeah.
he's throwing a tantrum to just get what he wants and be like, "No, I'm sorry. I'll go back to you with my head down and say, oh, I'm sorry, because you're being emotionally." And it's not going to get any better.
No, and it's also pretty clear that his family would be willing to get a hotel.
Yeah, if they're willing to rent a
Yeah.
car,
Then I
which
feel
would
like
probably be
Yeah.
more than getting a hotel in a lot of
Yeah.
cases. Yeah, and this
Yeah.
guy doesn't sound like he's going to be open to therapy. You
No.
kidding me?
He just told you to man up. That's not really therapy speak.
Yeah, this guy, we're done with this guy. But we have a little bit more story. My question is, should I keep the hotel? You should
Go
extend
stay.
your stay there as
Yeah.
well.
Genuinely, you should go stay in the hotel.
I want to have it in case my son and I have to sleep there. If people keep waking my son up, I'm going to have a huge problem, especially if we're trapped. But I also don't want to waste the money and never use it. I can't decide. For everyone saying I should get a divorce over this, that's valid. I want to give him one more chance to start discussing with me. If he can't respect that, then yeah, it's done. I'm tired of him stepping outside and having these conversations without my input. Wish me luck. And there are some comments here.
I understand wanting to give him one more chance. You guys have a kid.
I agree. I think that's valid, but it also seems like she's on the, divorce is on the table now.
Yeah,
kind of
no,
page.
if I would be like, we need to go to a counselor to figure out a path forward here because it's not working.
Yep.
And if he is resistant to that at all, then it's like, okay, then we're
We've
done.
got our
We'll
answer.
work out custody. We'll work out whatever. I'm leaving. Comment 1. A big part of the problem is that you are married to a 12-year-old in an adult's body. His lack of respect for you and the well-being of his child, combined with his temper tantrums, are unbelievable. You need to stand up to him or this will be your life for the duration of your marriage. When his family sets up camp in your living room, tell them you're going to make it easier on them by going to a hotel and just visiting with them during the day. Let your husband handle the troops' holiday bivouac. Okay.
Bivouac.
First bivouac in a story.
Bivouac. I've
Really?
never heard
Let's
that
check
word.
it. I'm gonna
First,
check.
there's never been a mention of bivouac in any of these stories.
I'm
Wait.
assuming it means something like hullabaloo.
No, bivouac is
incorrect.
is like a climbing thing actually. A bivouac is something that you make. It's like basically a camp or a
Dang.
tent that
You're
you make up on the
right.
mountain.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, never a bivouac.
I just
before.
searched the database. That's the only word.
That's the only bivouac in OK Storytime history.
But what is it? What's the what's the
It's
the
like when you're
Don't
on
ask me,
it-
man.
A bivouac's
What?
like a shelter that you make, like on a cliff.
I want to.
Well, I don't know if you need to be on a cliff,
Did you
Oh,
have to
but
be
it's
on
a
my
climbing thing. It's
goodness.
yeah, it's
That's
like a
cool.
Sophia,
outdoors
you're gonna-
survivalist thing.
You're gonna be. No.
Bivouac.
Don't look. Don't look. I got it.
Oh, you're pulling up a bivouac?
Sophia, look at me. Look at me.
Okay.
Pull up the bivvy.
I can't
Nope.
see it. it's
Look.
small on our end because
Yeah.
it's the I can't
Give it a
see
second. Give it a second.
It's up
No,
on the
it's the whole
it's
OBS
on the-
is up.
I
Oh,
guess
the whole OBS has been up this whole
Yeah,
time.
we've been watching you do all
Oh
that
my
behind the scenes stuff.
gosh! Nobody even said.
I
I
didn't
thought
even
you
think it
wanted
was
us to
wrong to
know.
be honest. Yeah.
I
Bivouac.
cannot.
Bivouac.
Oh, that's fun.
Bivvy.
Yep. All right. Let me fix that.
Bivouac.
Dang.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow. That might be the
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've
I've
be the
never-
first time
I've
I've ever
never-
read the word bivouac.
I've never heard that.
Actually, no, that's not true.
How do you know
I'm
it's
very
a thing?
impressed that you knew how to pronounce it
Yeah,
and
I,
knew what it was.
I just kind of
Just pulled that knowledge out.
see. You know, I play Jeopardy. Dude, honestly, live stream of me and you going head to head on Jeopardy, just like a Ken Jennings episode. Oh my god.
It'd be so
Oh my god, it would be brutal.
Well, you know what we should do? We should go with your girlfriend to Jeopardy.
Oh, like a taping of it?
No, to like play Jeopardy at like or I guess like a trivia game.
Yeah. I was
Y-
about
you
to
know.
say like the actual.
We should
Je-
go
we
on
should all
Jeopardy.
go on Jeopardy at the same time.
We should go on
Uh,
head to head on Jeopardy.
Too bad Alex
no, we should
Trebek
go
is
like
in there.
trivia together.
yeah. R.I.P.
Aw,
R.I.P. the goat.
He's so toasty. Look how toasty he
You know,
is.
Alex Trebek bought a mountain and then
What?
gave it to the city.
And then he got a key.
He's like, this is my mountain, but I'll
did.
it's yours.
It was his mountain.
It's I.
He bought a mountain and
Who
he
did he buy a
donated
mountain from?
it from like the
Land
government, from the
people?
government.
You can't buy it from the government.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You gotta talk to the BLM.
No.
The
can
Bureau of Land Management.
I'm sorry. He went to the city. He said, I want to buy this mountain, and then he said, hey, this is yours though. It's mine, but it's yours.
No, I think he gave it away as like it's like a park or something.
Oh,
What?
that's
Yes, you
cool.
can legally buy a mountain
I
from
like
the
that.
government.
Yeah.
Nice. I like
Yeah.
that. Making it like a national park.
I don't know if it's national.
Well, a state park. A park. That's
yeah, it's something.
nice.
Yeah,
It's a
something.
I like that.
You can't homestead anymore, by the way.
There goes my
Illegal.
summer plans. But
Why
we've
would they do?
got-
Why would they do that? Well, you can't do it on federal lands,
Is that
but you
the
can
full
do it.
story?
You can do it in places that make it almost impossible, which they do on purpose.
Antarctica.
Yeah,
more like just, like, the-
even. Let's not even get on that
the
Antarctica
middle
right
of
now.
the desert.
That-
Anyway,
that is a desert.
But it has snow.
that is the world's largest desert
Mhm.
is Antarctica.
I thought it was.
Yeah. Anyway, OP replies, funny you say he acts like a 12-year-old because he had the audacity to call me an emo 12-year-old when he was the one who stayed away from his son for 3 days pouting.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Commenter 2. One thing I don't think I've read is that the stress OP is going through will go through with this a-hole husband and his family will definitely affect her milk supply, which will in turn affect the baby.
That's true. As
Gotta-
a woman doctor, I agree.
Gotta think about the milk. If OP stays through the visit, absolutely. Let the baby cry and disrupt everyone's sleep so they finally realize this isn't doable. It's insane. Does sister-in-law even realize OP lives in a 1-bed, 1-bath apartment where 3 people already live? Even if sister-in-law and husband sleep on the air mattress in the living room, where is their 5-year-old supposed to sleep?
The ground.
Yeah, you got a tub for that.
He's fine.
In the
yeah.
tub.
Put him in the tub. Have you ever slept in the tub?
In the pit.
My brother has.
No, I've always been, I think,
I've always been
too
curious.
large for the tub.
Even as a child.
Oh, I mean, like, I don't know.
Never slept in the tub.
At one point,
I've
when
never
I
slept
was
in the tub. I'm just wondering.
exceptionally broke, splitting hotel costs with friends, I almost slept in the tub, but I was like, the floor is better than this.
The floor is better.
The floor is so much better than
Yeah,
this.
why? I just don't understand why people ever sleep in the tub over the floor.
I guess if they're
hurricane
small.
evacuations.
If they're real
Okay,
small,
okay.
maybe if they're like little 1-inch men.
A little. And it's
Let's
super
finish this
cozy.
story. Oh my gosh.
OP says, I've told my husband multiple times that stress affects milk supply. Drops have happened to me multiple times. Then he wonders why there's no milk in the fridge. I'm an exclusive pumper. Nice. And why his son has to drink protein shakes. He doesn't care.
So he doesn't fully understand anything, it seems.
Yeah, I want this man in the pit.
I'd be really concerned that he's asking why your son is drinking protein shakes. I'd be very concerned that he doesn't understand.
Because I'm trying to make my son jack.
My son has gotta be so strong.
I'm trying
The
to
baby
make my
comes out
son.
and is like, doo, doo.
And he sounds like Arnold.
He's like, go,
Yeah.
go, gaga.
Not a tumor.
I am the baby now.
Yeah. Commenter 3. Don't prepare for guests. Don't buy groceries. Don't cook. Take your son and go stay at the hotel or with friends or family. Let your husband host his family without you. I agree. Comment 4 says, honey, you need to take the baby in the car and go stay at the hotel for the
Honey.
whole stay. Let him host his family and stay well away from the chaos. Don't be home. And that is the end of that story.
Agreed.
And here are the stats for human milk versus cow's milk.
Here's the stat line.
Yep. So, lactose, humans are winning. Protein, the cow wins. That we're about the same. Calcium, cow.
Oh, man.
Iron, human. Water, by a gram, human. An energy cell. The cow's got
Wait, what?
Jigglers?
67. And humans have 65. So if you're contemplating, oh, should I drink human milk? Look at these stats first.
Well, presumably, I guess it just has all of the proteins that we need.
What is this, Mad Max?
All of the things that
Yeah,
we need.
less. Cows are winning.
Wait, I'm confused. Oh.
I'll do goat next.
Oh,
and
I was looking at
How much?
lactose. Wait,
What's the
protein?
energy? Give me the energy stat.
67 for cow, 65 for human.
Oh, dude, you gotta get those extra 2 blips of energy.
Yep.
gotta
Everyone put what kind of milk you want to know, and I'll make a chart. And I'll show everyone like what milk's better.
All right, then.
I'm just gonna pull up all the milks.
Milk chart.
I want to
We're
see
gonna analyze
bison
it.
milk stats.
Okay.
Bison milk,
Okay.
Bison milk
We'll get that.
stats.
So you want-
Let's do
Pronto,
it.
bear milk,
All right. Bare necessities.
bear versus bison.
Okay, let me put that down.
That would actually be a
Milk.
great. Who wins in the wild?
A bear or a
Brown
bison?
bear versus bison. I would assume brown bear.
I would assume
Brown
but-
bear.
But if they get like in a charge off, I think the bison might one shot it. I think the bison might just run through it like a
Yeah,
train.
it just goes. If it's a herd of bison,
Oh yeah, well a
course.
herd of bison. That's
of course. But
That's
bison
its
usually
own.
travel in herds.
imagine a herd of bears.
It's terrifying.
You know what they call it?
A beard.
A bird.
All right.
No. Don't you rush
Wait,
me.
no, we're
You
doing
said
milk.
that.
We're
Rush me.
milking.
You literally said
We're
let's get into the
milking.
next
We're
story.
milking right
I need time. Don't rush me.
I
You
need
rush me a
time.
lot. You rush people.
You literally.
rush
I
me a
thought
lot.
you were ready. You
I'm
said
not.
you rushed Dakota just 2
Bro,
seconds
you might
ago.
as
Did
well-
I?
You might as well
Yes.
be the band Rush.
You literally said Dakota. Let's get into the next story. So I thought
You
we
know
were
what?
ready.
No, he
Who
just
we
was
are.
talking
I
about
wanna be
something
the
else.
drummer.
Okay, we got bats on the list. Okay, I'm gonna put that down.
Bat milk.
Okay. Anything else?
I feel like bat milk's got to be pretty nutritious.
Ooh, horse milk. Okay.
It's like concentrated.
Now it doesn't even feel like you're getting the next story.
I am. I'm writing down
the
things.
next story is milk.
You want to come over here and do it?
the next story
I'm
is
just saying.
milk time.
I'm just saying.
Yep. During this story, which I think might be rough, I'm gonna pause and be like, we're gonna talk about the milk because we might need a break from how crazy it gets or
Oh,
depressing. So,
dang.
okay.
I just read in the
Alright.
top corner it says mother-in-law, but I read milk.
Milk treats us like kids.
the mind knows what it wants. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I'm ready now.
I discovered my husband's birthday gift for me, and I want it returned.
Yeah, not what I asked for. Sorry, pal.
Hi, all. It's my birthday tomorrow, and my dear, sweet, very broke husband told me he was getting some parcels today. So, to check the name carefully on them, so I don't open anything I'm not meant to. We both have the same initials. By the way, this comes from Rose Ply, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
and we're We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. Just had an Amazon delivery of said parcels, and one of them had been delivered in the manufacturer's packaging, as Amazon sometimes does now. It's the Mom Cozy puree station for filling baby pouches with your homemade baby food. Now, a few things. We have a 13-month-old baby girl, so whilst I still do make her some pureed stuff, it's mostly a sauce or a veg mix to then be put with something else, pasta, etc. But she's also at the stage where she's eating more finger foods and solid items, so I'm using fewer and fewer pureed things. Secondly, I already have an at-home pouch filling station. I got it months ago and have found that I rarely used it anyway. I prefer to freeze her food in the little mold trays, so I have them in cubes. I get these are more for on the go, but honestly, if I'm out with her, I already have my arsenal of go-to snacks in her bag, and I'll try to order something from a menu when we eat out. And not to seem ungrateful, but this just doesn't feel like a gift for me. More like, here's the thing I got you to help you make food for our baby. But it's also 30 pounds, which is a lot for him right now. I don't want this item. It won't get used, and even if it was something I didn't already own a version of, I would prefer to have a gift for me, not for chores or the baby. Honestly, I'm a little let down and feel like an a-hole for that. Would I be the a-hole if I spoke to him about it this evening, as it's clear I know what it is, as the product is right there on the box? And how do I tell him to return it kindly and save his money without seeming ungrateful? He's going through a tough financial spot, won't accept my help financially, and I'm the maid breadwinner at the moment whilst he gets a few things off his plate. I don't need him to get me anything and would rather he didn't increase his financial difficulties just for the sake of getting me something. And we've got some comments. Comments are wondering what he does all dang day if the development of his child and chores to feed them flew right past him. Fairy Babe says she's trying so hard to be considerate when he barely put any thought into it. It really does sound like she's carrying everything, the emotional work, the kid, the money, while still worrying about his feelings. That kind of imbalance wears you down fast. OP says this is true at the moment. I am doing those things, but I know there will be a time in the future when I lean more on him. He's a wonderful, kind man. He hates the position that he's in at the moment, and he's a wonderful father who loves our girl more than life. But yes, I am doing all of that, and it's exhausting. But I love him. He's the person I've chosen to build a life and family with. It's not sustainable, and we've had that conversation, but you'll have to believe me that many external forces have really hindered his finances at the moment. Dutch person said, how would he be able to take care of his child now when you do all of the food prep? He needs to step up now. OP says he would figure it out, and he does take care of her. E.g., this Saturday, we were meeting a bunch of people for lunch for my birthday. Then I'll come home with her. Worst, I stay out, have some drinks, and maybe a little devil's lettuce. And I'm staying at my friend's house, so I didn't need to worry about getting a train home. We'll be fine with her. And next week, I have to make a very rare work trip to London, so he'll need to collect her from nursery and get her fed. She'll live, he'll be able to look in the freezer for prepared food, or he'll make her something. It's just not his natural groove at the moment. He has a lot going on, as do I, and he is very low about how unable to contribute he is. Despite the crazy hours he's working, I put more detail in a separate reply, but he's basically self-employed and has a big money sink of an asset he's trying to do up to sell. So he's working crazy hours, so doesn't get much family time, but all the money made goes back into getting this bloody project done. It's horrible and is a huge impact on our relationship, good time with his daughter, and his mental health. I'm stronger than him in that regards, but it's definitely wearing me down and isn't sustainable. We talk about it a lot, but I support him because I love him and know it won't be forever. We're luckier than most in a lot of ways, but that is predominantly due to my assets. OP says I would rather he keep the money, to be honest, but I don't think his pride will allow for that. OP says he has no sister, his mother is in her 70s, he has no female friends who are pregnant, and he literally told me things were arriving today for my birthday. He's in a tough financial situation, and this isn't the sort of thing he'd buy for someone else. And we've got an update 2 days later. What do you think happens?
See, I don't know. My original thing was I was gonna go with, he has something else planned, those aren't for her. But now she's like, well, she doesn't have any of this, not a sister, who else could it be for?
Who else could it be for? Well, we got an update 2 days later. Hey everyone, thanks for the comments on my previous post. Although classic Reddit, there were a lot of people who jumped to all sorts of conclusions about my husband, his parenting, and how he feels towards me more broadly. Some big leaps were made. As I mentioned, he's going through quite a bit at the moment and is in a bad place financially. Many people assumed he had no idea how to care for his own child, which couldn't be further from the truth. He's a wonderful, loving father and a wonderful husband. He just dropped the ball on this occasion. I'm sure his situation and some of the things he does or the ways he communicates would annoy and or be a deal breaker for many people. Same goes for some of the things you do or that I do. They would also be deal breakers for any number of other people. Not everyone would accept my situation as good enough for their relationship, and that's fine. I do accept him. Do I sometimes wish he was astronomically wealthy? Sure. But he's not, and I love him anyway. No one is perfect, and I love and support him. We both have a lot going on, but at the moment, I'm the one who's more equipped to hold things up for us both emotionally and financially. That's just how it is at the moment. We're building a life together, and sometimes one partner has to do more to help the other through a rough time. So on to the updates for anyone interested. I decided to text him along the lines of, "Hi, my love. Some parcels arrived for you, but I'm sorry to say one has been delivered in the manufacturer's box, the Mom Cozy puree station, so I can clearly see what it is. I hate to say this, but I actually got one of these stations months ago and found I didn't really use it for her food and meal prep. And it's in the cupboard. Just wasn't for me. She's moving more away from purees at this age anyway. Feel like a butt, but I think you should return it and save yourself the money. You don't need to get me anything to replace it or anything. XX." And he was fine with that, although I could tell his pride was a little dented. After some discussion, he said he would transfer me the money once he's returned it. I tried to tell him it wasn't necessary, but he told me that money was allocated for me and my gift. And even in his financial situation, he wanted it to go to me. I eventually realized that trying to get him to keep it would be more of an affront to him, so I agreed that once he got a refund, he would send it to me. We had a longer, broader discussion about the item itself, and he gets that it wasn't the best gift. Although he did remind me that I got him one of those toddler seat carriers that goes on an adult's shoulders for his birthday, which is of course, a baby-related item. You know, he's got you there. He has got you there, I will say.
Well, the thing is, like, once you have a baby, I feel like it's hard to get gifts that aren't related to the baby.
Yes, but also I think I would be a little bit annoyed if, like, my partner got me a baby-related gift for my birthday. I'd be like, well, I want a book. I want a trip.
Like, my sister-in-law,
clothes.
It's hard to find stuff, like, you know, she reads, like, we can get her like books or whatever, but she mostly she's a stay-at-home mom, so she just does stuff with the kids. So it's like I can get her something to do with the kids, like, and she would appreciate that because she loves doing activities with them. She's always trying to find new things, like they go to like music class and like go to the library together and stuff like that. So she always tries to do stuff, but like it's hard to be like, that's like her identity now is with the kids. So it's hard to like figure out like, oh, like what is she like?
I think the best thing to do when you don't know what to get someone is to ask them.
I mean, yeah,
sometimes
I do.
They don't
I
know.
asked her.
Sometimes they don't know. And then you ask other people around them. And then you kind of work together and you go on a scavenger hunt to figure out what the heck they want. Although we acknowledged it's not quite the same, I view that as an item used to enhance their experience and enjoyment together. Whereas the puree thing is a way to enhance a chore. I figured arguing semantics on that wasn't really that important. We talked more about our current money position, our future plans, and where we're up to with everything. We still got a slog ahead of us, but it won't be forever. I reminded him that even at the moment, we're a lot better off than many others, and we're so close to being past this rough period. He said he's just tired of feeling backed into this bad financial corner, which I understand, but again, this is temporary. Either way, I had a lovely birthday. My husband also gave me a lovely framed set of 3 photos of our baby at different stages over the last year, along with a couple of other bits. He also took care of childcare on the Friday, so I went for a 2-hour massage and lunch, then spent the afternoon playing an old PC game, Black and White. By the way, you should spend your afternoon listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story.
You guys had the conversation and, you know, you came to an agreement. No one was like defensive or like, you know, yeah, of course, like when you try to get something for someone and they don't like it, you're going to be upset.
Bummed.
Yeah. It's like, oh, dang it. But there, in that situation, there is a right and wrong reaction. And I think he reacted correctly. Because he could have been like, you weren't supposed to see that. Oh my God. Like he could have been really defensive and mean for literally no reason. But instead he was like, oh, dang it. Well, you know, I'll just give you the money then. And you can get it for something, you know. I think that that's a totally normal response and a right one.
I agree.
Like to, you know, right this wrong of like not knowing what to get her.
And yesterday we met friends for birthday lunch, after which he took the baby home and I stayed out, drank, smoked some devil's lettuce, and crashed out of friends. My husband can look after and feed our child perfectly fine without any help from me. He's our parent, not a babysitter. Everyone making assumptions about him along those lines is just plain wrong. that's fine. It's the internet, and I was expecting a certain amount of snarky Reddit takes. But thank you to everyone who seemed to get that good people can sometimes do dense things. I'm now on the train home to take over baby duties so he can get out to work. I've had a lovely birthday, and I'm looking forward to a day with my baby girl. I love that. And that's the end. Beautiful.
Wow. My mother-in-law acts entitled to my newborn and thinks I'm the problem.
Well, maybe it's the baby that's the problem.
So me, 25 female, and my husband, 26 male, have been together for a year and things are great. We rarely bicker and have basically been attached at the hip. It's the best relationship I've ever had. The only issue has unfortunately been my mother-in-law. By the way, this comes from Nestwolf, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, to clarify, we haven't gone full no contact, and we have not stated explicitly to her that this arrangement is forever. We have clearly laid out what it would take to fix this situation. Before I met her in person, we got along wonderfully. His parents travel as they are snowbirds, so I didn't meet them until we went to visit them a few months into my pregnancy. I was cordial and respectful, as I'm Southern and a bit shy with new people, so I default to the whole respect your elders thing and usually don't speak unless spoken to. But I noticed pretty quickly she was making small jabs here and there. Comments on my outfits, getting angry and defensive when I mentioned my husband's ex had been rude and slandered me at work, and more offhand and off-color things that seemed a little hostile. But I brushed it off as I didn't want to rock the boat, especially because I was having her grandchild soon. Finances got tight and we decided to move out of state to live in the other state the in-laws stayed in the hopes it would be cheaper. Things got progressively worse. As time went on, it seemed more and more like she wasn't fond of my presence, to the point even my brother-in-law took notice. Nearly every time I was around her, she would be rude, make snide jokes, condescend to me, or just make me feel generally stupid or bad about myself. A few examples. At a restaurant, I had to take a phone call and turn to tell my husband if the waitress comes, he could just order a burger for me, but make sure no vegetables. She very loudly, causing multiple people to stare over, said, "Oh, getting rid of the healthy things on the burger?" At another lunch, me and her were having some inconsequential conversation, and as I was mid-sentence, she turned and just started talking over me to my brother-in-law, despite my husband trying to steer her back by telling her I was speaking. It was extremely rude. One time, I wore a shirt and pants that had clashing patterns. She crinkled her nose and said, "You're really wearing that to go out? You know those don't match, right?" in a very condescending tone. But later backtracked and said she said that because she was so shocked how well the outfit worked on me. Now that I've had my daughter, things have gotten downright ridiculous. She asked us if she could be in the room for my delivery, and as I had been having these issues, I wanted to decline. But during her asking, she said, "And I just want you to know, if you say no, I'll be really, really upset." So, of course, scared to say anything because I was heavily pregnant, I agreed, but said the answer may change. Which she said would be fine, she would just be very upset. About a month before I was due, my husband went to her and explained we had changed our mind and decided it would just be us two. To which she responded by essentially giving us the silent treatment and pouting for a day.
Let me guess, she was upset.
Thank God, as I ended up needing an emergency C-section, and my laboring experience was extremely difficult and stressful. Once the baby was born, I was in recovery as the baby was in the NICU with my husband. My mother-in-law asked if she could come sit with me, to which I agreed, as I was ill and fevered and didn't want to be alone. My mom lives in another state, and I have no family or friends here. At first, it seemed okay until a nurse decided to try and convince my mother-in-law to go see my baby in the NICU. Mind you, I hadn't even gotten to see my baby yet. I hoped I would get an indignant, "Absolutely not." But instead, my mother-in-law said, "Oh, maybe I'll just go talk to my son and look at her through the window." Of course, I felt helpless as I couldn't walk or do anything at this point. The nurse said the NICU didn't have a window anymore, to which my mother-in-law sadly went, Oh man, I guess I'll wait if I have to. Mom should hold her first. While looking at me with puppy dog eyes, hoping I would give her permission. I did not. Good for you, OP. My mother-in-law hardly helped with anything regarding our baby, but for some reason has decided that any help at all means we owe her time with our baby. She even told me I should be letting other people enjoy her. Like she's a toy to be shared and played with. She has disrespected me around every corner and has even gone as far as to refer to the baby as her baby and has called herself mama on multiple occasions. She has even hesitated to hand me my child, while my husband and brother-in-law are constantly offered her with absolutely no trouble. She questions every boundary we set, complained incessantly until we allowed her to kiss the top of our baby's head. No! No! You don't kiss newborns.
They don't have immune systems. Come on. Come on.
She just loves the baby so much that she has to give the baby all her little germs on her lips because she just can't stand it.
I want to give it the flu.
And was livid that we didn't want to drop our 3-week-old baby off at her RV to babysit. Now things are coming to a head. She has been spamming my husband's phone, lamenting about how awful this is for her, how she's going to just leave town since we're withholding her grandchild from her, and has refused to give any real apology. It's always, I never said that, or I didn't mean it that way, or I'm sorry she took it like that, or you know I'm not like that. Mind you, we have talked to her about this behavior before and thought it would be squashed, yet she continued. My father-in-law called today and proceeded to make it out like both of us are wrong and that it's essentially up to me to concede and accept that she's just allowed to be rude and unkind to me because that's how she is and she's not going to apologize. He then ended it by saying I should just essentially berate her to make her listen. At this point, I'm at a loss. This woman has made me feel like a second-class citizen compared to her family and essentially treats me like I incubated her daughter and I'm just the nursemaid, and then proceeds to degrade me every time she comes over. But I'm being told I have to bridge the gap. My husband and I don't know how to fix this because it's not like we want our daughter to not be around her grandparents. But I don't want to be treated like crap in front of my daughter or in general. Important note, my husband has been wonderful in defending me and holding strong on this boundary, both over the phone and in person. We have an update. How you feeling?
I think we gotta make strict boundaries.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like,
sounds like you're already limited contact, and sounds like that's a great call.
sometimes people gotta know you mean business.
Yeah.
You know? Because it doesn't sound like she respects you.
It's not
She'll
at all.
just continue to treat you really poorly. You'd be like, hey, I'm in no way going to let you treat me like this. Or, you know, God forbid you treat my child like this.
Yeah. I like what Honeybee85 says. Every time she says my baby, OP should direct her to her husband. My baby? Oh, you mean the adult one over there? The 25-year-old?
And,
that one's yours.
Emma Wilkins in the chat says, I call my grandsons my boys. Thankfully, the whole family understands and we all run with it. Yeah, I think you can call, you know, there's like there's a point where that makes sense.
Also, my boys.
All fair.
My boys is way more generalized than my baby.
My baby. And
My
also
baby.
calling yourself mama. It's like
I call my cats back home my boys. Like,
my boys.
the boys. I
Yeah.
call them the boys.
Nah, she's like claiming possession of the child.
Update. So I had a phone call with her today in which she screamed at me, overspoke me, and sobbed for the majority of the conversation. I was honest about my feelings and did not back down on my opinions on her behavior. But the best we got was, I'm sorry you interpreted it like that. I didn't mean to, so I can't apologize for hurting your feelings.
That's crazy that she said, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say I'm sorry.
She literally said,
She's like-
hello, but I'm not sorry.
But she said, she started off with, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that you feel bad.
Yeah.
I don't.
Hello, I'm not sorry.
Essentially putting the blame on me for receiving her actions in a negative way. The call ended with me crying and finally yelling, in which my husband gently took the phone away and hung up to give me a break, as I was genuinely not being heard by her at all. About 30 minutes later, she texted my phone a long message giving a semblance of a real apology, although not really admitting fault, and seemingly understood my perspective to some degree. I decided to give her the chance she's begging for and accepted her apology, and explained once again that she is absolutely not entitled to our baby, but I am willing to let her see my daughter. I told her to give everyone a few days to cool off, and she could come see us on Wednesday, to which she curtly agreed. I'm sure it's going to be extremely uncomfortable and tense. The ball is fully in her court to behave and follow our rules and boundaries, as I feel like I've made it very clear I'm not going to allow crossing them. I really do want her in my daughter's life if I can help it. I didn't grow up with a positive family, and I don't want that for her. But if this behavior continues after things were made crystal clear, I will not tolerate it, as I have given the benefit of the doubt too many times now. Update 2. Well, I didn't think I'd be making this kind of update. Last night, my husband went over to the place the in-laws are staying to work out with his dad. This is a nightly thing they usually do, and he got caught in a conversation with mother-in-law. It was clear from the start she had planned to get him alone without me in order to goad my husband into contradicting everything I said and essentially talk crap about me. She said my mental health or trauma must be why I'm treating her this way, reiterated that she definitely doesn't understand how she isn't entitled to be around my daughter, and a whole lot of gaslighting. She sent a text to both of us today saying she read a Reddit post last night that felt like us, maybe mine, and she understands where we're coming from in the boundary of not wanting too many interactions with our daughter in the first few months for health reasons, but really nothing else. It was a lot of redirecting, saying we didn't communicate with her. We did, constantly. We explained every choice, even when we didn't need to. And now she wants us to look at her side. She then texted my husband when she didn't receive an answer and asked if she was forgiven. Unfortunately, I am done. Someone who clearly would rather be right than see their grandchild has no place with my daughter. By the way, you always have a place with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. At the end of the day, I am her mother, and my job is to keep her life happy and positive. And my mother-in-law is sadly far from it. Not to mention the pure stress of dealing with someone who is trying anything and everything to make my husband think I'm crazy and make me feel stupid and small is too much to handle anymore. I plan now to remove myself and my daughter from the equation. I don't expect no contact from my husband with his mom, as that was never my intent, but me and my child will be. No matter how witchy or unstable she may try to make me out to be for this, no one can tell me what's best for me and my daughter except me. Me and my little one are happy and healthy and thriving with just us and her dad, and that's more than enough for me. That's the end of that story.
I cut off my parents after years of disrespecting my husband.
Fair enough.
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Even fairer enougher.
I don't know if I'm looking for advice, validation, or just trying to process all of this, but I need to get it off my chest. My husband, let's call him Ray, 34 male, and I, 32 female, have been together since I was 18, my freshman year of college. He had immigrated to the U.S. from the Caribbean about 8 years before we met. By the way, this comes from Sufficient Finding 614. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, from the very beginning, my parents, 56 female and 50 male, disapproved. At first, they said it was because they didn't know him. But really, it was because I didn't bring him around right away. The truth is, I knew they'd be judgmental. I was a recovering people pleaser, and this was my first real relationship. I wanted to figure things out on my own without them influencing every step. Looking back, I stand by that decision. But what started as, we don't know him, turned into, he's controlling, and eventually spiraled into full-blown rumors that he would use me for citizenship, that he was emotionally, mentally, and financially harmful, that he isolated me and manipulated me. None of it was based in reality. Just harmful stereotypes and assumptions. The most ironic part is that my stepdad, is half Caribbean, and yet somehow that nuance gets ignored. Despite all that, Ray and I built a beautiful life together. 2 years into our relationship, he was able to earn citizenship through his career choice. No help from me needed. Hands down, he's been my rock. He's supportive, kind, patient, emotionally present, and genuinely my best friend. 6 years into our relationship, we got married. A year later, we had our first child. That's when I learned my mom has quietly been planting seeds of doubt about our relationship within the family, telling people I was being isolated, manipulated, even mistreated. When I confronted her, her reasoning honestly shocked me. She pointed to basic life decisions like getting a credit card, buying a car, or renting an apartment, all of which I made after discussing them with Ray while we were still dating. She criticized me for moving overseas to be with him while he was stationed abroad, even though he found me a job in the area and supported me while I pursued part-time work and school. She even told people he pressured me into having children. Here's some context. I didn't originally want kids or marriage. Ray did. But over the years, we had open and honest conversations. I had many chances to leave if we weren't aligned. Instead, I chose to build this life with him. Marriage, kids, all of it. Our son, 6, and daughter, 4, are the light of my life, and I can't imagine it any other way. It's okay to be child-free, and it's okay to change your mind. But my mom uses my change of heart as another weapon to say I was manipulated. After my son was born, I struggled with postpartum anxiety. I confided in my mom, hoping for support, but instead she used it as more proof that Ray was failing me. In reality, he, along with a few friends, encouraged me to go to therapy and supported me through every step of recovery. Therapy helped me face a lot of my own childhood trauma and build healthier boundaries, again with Ray right there beside me. Ray is always looking out for me, anticipating my needs, supporting my hobbies, and encouraging even my wildest ideas. Whatever I dream up, he does everything he can to help make it happen. We always laugh about this one episode of Modern Family where they talk about how every relationship has a dreamer and a doer. In ours, I'm definitely the dreamer, and Ray is 100% my Claire. It's funny how art imitates life sometimes, because that dynamic fits us perfectly. Still, after 14 years, my parents have never had a kind word to say about him. They go out of their way to exclude him, make passive-aggressive comments, and constantly question his involvement in anything related to our family. Even during times of mourning when he was simply standing by me as my husband, they treated him like an inconvenience rather than a source of support. And yet, despite all of this, they still expect full access to our children, his children. It's the most painful hypocrisy, watching them treat the father of my kids like a villain while insisting they want to be in our lives. I've spent years trying to compartmentalize their roles as grandparents versus in-laws, and it's exhausting. Ray has always taken the high road. He's told me again and again that he doesn't want to come between me and my family, even when they belittled or disrespected him directly. And the truth is, I haven't always defended him the way I should have. I've let things slide to keep the peace, even when it hurt him.
Well, I think there is some relevance to doing that. Like when if it's happened before and it's happening, I mean, at this point you said it's been happening for 14 years.
Yeah.
So these people probably aren't going to change the way that they talk about him. So if you are going to maintain a relationship with them, it has to be a thing where you hear it and you just go these people are it's silly baby.
Yeah.
It's it's not letting people's words when they are meaningless and just meant to provoke something have any power. But there also does come that point where you reach your limit of being able to do that.
And also protecting your partner, because it's not you that's getting belittled. I mean, in a way it is.
Well,
but
no, it's also him being well, I'm not going to come between you and your family.
Yeah.
And if he can just be they're just weird. They're weird and crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let this stuff that they say get down into me, because it's that's its own thing, and just being self-assured is another thing. But that doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for every situation.
Anyway.
Silly babies, your family.
The breaking point should have come long ago, but alas. About 2 months ago, my mom called to vent for 4 hours about how badly my dad treats her, how he ignores her needs, dismisses her feelings, and refuses to help with anything. The conversation included examples of how her trust was broken, how he played it off, his defensiveness, and half attempts and groveling.
I just don't think it's a good move for parents to have that kind of conversation with their children.
I think it's terrible. No, it's always a bad idea. Don't talk to your therapist. Talk to your friends. Don't talk to me.
No matter what age they are, they could be 12, they could be 40. I don't care. Don't talk to me about how you hate my dad or my mom, whatever.
All I could think was, you defend him. You justify him. You stay with him. At one point during this call, I actually referenced this. The thing my mom confided in me about, Ray has never and would never do. And it hurt that my own mom could be so willing to forgive terrible behavior and be so encouraging to men, including my dad, who are awful partners. Yet my husband, who has supported me, helped raise our kids, stood by me through mental health struggles, career changes, military moves, and toxic family dynamics, genuinely loves me, is never good enough. I've tried more than once to bridge the gap between my parents and my husband. I have had direct conversations with them about their behavior and the way they speak about him, but instead of owning their actions, they deflect and gaslight. I hear things like, I never said I didn't like your husband, or it's not me, he's the one with the problem. Sometimes they claim we've misunderstood or taken things out of context, as if over a decade of dismissive comments and disrespect can just be waved away. It's been 2 months since I last spoke to them. I didn't make an announcement or set a boundary. I just stopped responding. And in that silence, I've been sitting with all of it. The guilt, the grief, the anger. I feel torn and exhausted of it all. It feels like I've chosen my husband over my parents. But I know deep down it's not about choosing one or the other. I still love my parents. I miss them. But I can't keep pretending everything's fine, letting them play the part of loving parents and doting grandparents, while continuing to treat my husband like he doesn't belong in the family we've built together. Last night, my sister, 37 female, reached out to let me know that our mom had contacted her unexpectedly. They haven't spoken in months, so it was surprising. The call was mostly about me. My mom was asking if something was wrong with me, but the conversation quickly shifted into placing blame on Ray, as usual. By the way, I'd blame you if you didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think you should totally set boundaries with your parents, but I think they should know. I don't think you should just go
No, I think
completely
you tell
silent
them.
without telling them. I think you should say,
Yeah.
hey, I'm done communicating with y'all
because of this.
Yeah.
And if they go, wait, you go, I don't care. Bye. Peace out. And you do the same thing that you were already planning to do, but they just know why. But there is a little bit left. I understand it's not my sister's job to defend or explain my choices, but I wish she had been more direct. Her responses were vague, which left a lot of room for misinterpretation or manipulation. One example they discussed was a time I was lying in my parents' bed with my son and Ray came in to check on us. After that, my parents started locking their bedroom door, basically saying it was fine for me and our son to be in there, but not Ray. They're locking their bedroom door because your husband is there with you and your child?
You really don't like this guy.
Somehow, in my mom's retelling and my sister's responses, the story morphed into Ray claiming they locked the door with my son still inside, which isn't true. But now that's the version going around. What? These people are wild. Yeah, I think it's time to tell them why you're cutting them off and then cut them off. Because this is just unacceptable.
I think you've got a lot to work with, too. I mean, if your mom's calling you being like, my husband this, my husband that, blah, 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 he sucks so bad, blah, blah, blah. You'd be like, you know who I don't feel any of those feelings about?
Ray.
My husband.
Ray's pretty great.
Yeah, the one that you hate so bad. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And how are you going to, it's like, you've had 2 children trying to be like, oh, he manipulated you into having these kids. What? It's like, you can just at some point be like, I don't think I want kids. And then over time be like, no, I would want kids.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 of them and you love them both.
And that's okay. It's okay for people to change their mind about decisions either way. You could say, oh, I grew up thinking I wanted kids. Now I'm realizing I don't want them. Or I grew up thinking I didn't want kids. Now I do want them. It's fine. Just communicate with your partners.
Yep.
My husband left me because I couldn't keep the house spotless after giving birth.
Get out of her house.
I, 24 female, need some outside perspective here. I have never been much of a cleaner. My mother-in-law is a neat freak to the point she makes herself miserable. She declutters things she actually loves, and her home looks like no one lives in it. She has complained to me multiple times about how tired she is and wishes she could just take a nap every once in a while. My husband, 24 male, is her youngest and claims to not remember his childhood, but says he remembers his house always being as spotless as his mother's home is now. By the way, this comes from Throwaway 576739-4. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, in an argument where he told me I am not doing enough, I told him, you try keeping the house clean with a toddler. And he told me that plenty of women do it. So I told him that if he wants that, he should go be with one of those other women.
Yes.
Because I am not wasting time making myself miserable. I'm already stretched too thin. He claimed in that argument that he didn't realize how overworked I was and that he was sorry. But more recently, brought it up again that I just don't do as much as every other woman. I am his first real relationship.
Yeah, yep, I can see that.
Yup.
He's like, all of the women on the TV screen.
Come on, babe. Spotless.
I've been watching I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, and they're all able to clean the house.
It's almost like they're magical or something.
It's
I don't know how they're
crazy.
doing it. He has no idea that there's actual magic in the show.
He keeps walking out of the room every time they do magic.
Before me, he had a month-long affair with a married woman who apparently did all the cooking and cleaning.
That, you know what? Impressive that she did all that and made time for an affair. She's a terrible person for that, but, you know.
And he's terrible if he knew about the affair.
Also that.
About the husband.
But time management, impressive.
When we got together, I showed him my messy room. I told him I had no desire to spend my time making sure everything was spotless. That lived in was much more of my style. And I already had a toddler who made continuous messes daily. My priority was playing with her, not cleaning up after her. While I still did clean every day, toddlers are a lot faster than they look. He said that was fine. We discussed that if the house ever gets unmanageable, we would hire a service as my husband could afford it.
That's what I was thinking. If he really truly wants the house to look a certain way and his wife is overwhelmed, then let's hire someone if we can afford, if we can afford it. Yeah. Let's just, get rid of the argument entirely.
Here's where the conflict arose. I am 11 weeks postpartum. My pregnancies are pretty debilitating. My first one was claimed high risk, and I have extreme nausea all day long, all the way to the third trimester when it finally slows down. Although my husband often told me, I get it, I don't want you lifting a thing, he never stood by it. Anytime he picked up our room, about once a month, he would sigh and groan and give me a lecture asking, are you ever going to start picking up after yourself? This was a man who had promised to give me a soft life, who swore up and down he didn't want me to go to work and that he wanted me to take it easy so that his baby and I would be okay. One that claimed to appreciate how good of a mother I was. When I would bring that up to him, he would backtrack. He would say, oh, I didn't mean now. Of course not. You're pregnant. Throwing up. Not now. Just ever. I would tell him that I did pick up while he was at work, but he wouldn't believe me because there were still messes. Unfortunately, kids don't stop playing work just because dad is on his way home from work and wants a clean house when he gets home. Flash forward to being a few weeks postpartum. Unfortunately, I wound up having an emergency C-section, and the recovery was brutal. I thought I had experienced the most painful thing in the world, having contractions before giving birth to my first, but the contractions and recovery this time have been so awful that I will never have kids again.
Wow.
I have been through so many hard things, but this era, by far, has got to be the worst time of my life. On top of the physical agony, I have also become incredibly depressed, to the point where even if moving didn't physically hurt me so much, I mentally and emotionally have no drive. I got an infection in my incision around week 3 and went on antibiotics in week 4 because it was hard to get to the doctors. I pushed myself physically around week 6 to get some stuff done around the house he wouldn't help with, and I pulled a muscle and experienced some hematomas, so my healing reverted. My husband took a pay cut right before the baby was born so he could have a job that would keep him home more and that would pay for his education so he can get an even better paying job in the future. He didn't actually make as much as he claimed he did, hence why he wasn't hiring cleaning services like he said he would. I was so grateful. Money is truly the last thing on my mind when it comes to our family, as I have parents who can support us when times get rough. I just need help raising our babies into becoming good humans. But about 5 weeks after the baby was born, he got a second job without asking me. He just told me he was doing it, despite my protests. So now I have almost no help, and he won't admit to that. He's always too tired to do anything around the house, and always mad if he has to go to the grocery store with us, etc. We don't live in a safe enough area for me to go by myself. Although I do out of necessity sometimes, despite having been hurt by strangers multiple times at the grocery store near me.
And he's not coming with you?
He's protesting going with you? Girl, no.
This is not a person you want to be raising a child with.
We have WIC, and in our state, they don't do grocery pickup or delivery for WIC items. About 2 weeks ago, I discovered something about my husband, and ever since, we have been separated. He is staying with his parents and stops by for a visit every few days. I claimed I wanted a divorce at first, but it's not what I want. I just want him to change and grow and become more loyal to me in our marriage. It wasn't cheating. All I do all day is nurse, play dolls with my toddler, and feed us and change their diapers. Every time I get up to do one of those things, I've started to incorporate the habit of bringing my dishes to the sink while I am up, or bringing toys to their toy box, but I am drowning. It's hard to play with my daughter when I'm bursting into tears randomly throughout the day. She deserves so much more than this, but I am pushing myself so hard. This is all I can give her. What do I do here? He says that I need to be working on something too if we are going to save our marriage. So I am supposed to be working on cleaning more and speaking to him gentler. But I genuinely don't feel like that's in my wheelhouse right now.
I hate that the only thing that's changed, it seems, is what you need to do.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, well, so I'm supposed to be working on doing what caused the fight in the first place that I don't have the bandwidth to do. And also now I have to I'm not even allowed to express my emotions.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you shouldn't be yelling or anything like that at your partner. But it seems like what he wants you to do is shut up and do the chores.
Yeah. And he's not even having conversations with you. He's just doing things.
I hate him.
I don't like him. But I want us to stay together so bad. I just want all of our problems to go away. He's claiming other things, like I have emotionally drained him, but with no context. So I have no idea how to fix it. Do I just see if I can push myself more and risk injury so I can get him back? No. Comments. Commenter 1 didn't even read past the first paragraph. If other women can do it, so can a man.
Yep.
If extreme cleanliness is important to him, surely you won't stop him from cleaning. But it's not your job to satisfy his inner neat freak. You aren't his employee, and he lives there too. So he's just as responsible. My ex-boyfriend was more of a neat freak than me too. He never treated me like that though. He just used to clean more often than me. Your husband's behavior isn't okay. Commenter 2. If you are putting in a good effort to clean, he can be as well. If his standards are higher, he cleans more. How do you organize chores as a family? I make a list weekly and he chooses some and I take the others I need done to my standards. OP responds, honestly, he is right that I don't do a lot. I probably only cleaned for an hour a day altogether as the stay-at-home spouse while I was pregnant. We were only married 3 months before I got pregnant, and he keeps claiming that his main issue is that I didn't clean enough during that time, but if he wasn't home, I probably spent on average 4 hours a day cleaning.
Jeez.
It is true that when he is home, I spend very little time cleaning, as I am focused on spending time with the family altogether, or finally getting a break and putting my feet up. Also recovering, since I had major surgery 11 weeks ago, aka the baby.
Yeah.
We don't have a chore chart. We agreed like 4 weeks ago to make one, and it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, well, let's get that. Let's do it tonight. You go to your husband, you say, hey, we're doing this tonight.
Several months ago, I made a list of everything that needed to get done in a day, week, and month, so that we could evenly distribute the labor, and all he did was laugh and tell me he didn't believe I do those things because our house is still a mess. My standards are lived in, but our house was still messier than that. By the way, you know what's never messy? If you go and listen to full episodes with stories just like this,
They do get a little messy.
they get really messy, but not in this way.
Yeah.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. You can get lost in the mess of our stories.
Beautiful.
There's a little bit left.
Yeah, I think OP is so focused on not losing this relationship that she is kind of trying to look past all of these flaws, these many, many flaws. And yes, you know, you should try and make it work if you can because there are kids involved.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean at all costs, including your own sanity and, you know, well-being and just happiness.
Yeah, I fully agree. I also read the first line of the update, so I
Yeah.
can't really give my
Yeah.
input right now.
Well, let's get into
Let's
the
get
update
into that.
then.
Update. He asked for a divorce.
Whoa. Well, I guess you guys were on the same page.
Papers are filled out. We are filing and sending them in on his day off this week. We had a lot of other problems too, but I wanted to share this one because it felt unfair. I honestly thought I was going to be verbally obliterated because I know how harsh people who like things clean can be. Thanks for validating my feelings. I wish we could have used your advice, but I think it was such a big deal to him because he just didn't love me that much. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's how I feel. And that's the end of that story.
No, it just feels like there was no effort.
Yeah. It just feels
Yeah.
like he wanted a mom still.
Yeah.
And he's not listening to you. You have a baby. You tell him that you're having postpartum depression
Yeah.
from it, that you're really struggling. You're bursting out through tears during the day.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to clean more. And he's not even cleaning.
He's not even helping. Well, first he was working less or not making the money that he said he was
To
making.
hire the cleaner.
And then he started working more
Right. Got a whole
without
second
talking to you.
job.
Yeah. So now he
where's
can't
that
even be
cleaner
there.
money?
Exactly. It just wasn't gonna work out. So you know, take this as it probably sucks right now, but you have your parents that you said you could rely on, which is really good. So rely on that support system around you. My husband's innocent friend crossed the line, so I confronted him.
This line is broken.
My husband and I have been married for 6 years and have been friends for 11 years total, no kids. It all started around April of this year when my husband reconnected with an old female friend from high school. They began talking, even had a couple of calls, and I didn't think anything of it at first. By the way, this comes from Mental Fatigue 09, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my husband has always had more female than male friends. He's kind, very anti-macho man, and easygoing. So I understand why women feel comfortable around him. This has never been an issue. When we began dating, he introduced me to his female best friend at the time, and she was a blast. 0 bells. But with this girl from high school, something felt different. I've never been insecure about our relationship or his friends, but then I began to notice these little things. She'd call him bestie and say these exact phrases. You're the only one I can talk to. Don't disappear on me. You're the only friend I've ever had. She would also send pictures and videos of what she was doing, from work, outfit pics, selfies, and even a few mirror pics and a video showing off her room. Another thing that felt odd was that she claimed to have severe social anxiety. So after being alone in a new country for about 7 years, she didn't have a single friend, just 2 acquaintances. Her words. She had a lot of stories like that, all about very bad things that had happened to her and how everything always seemed to go wrong. I couldn't tell if she was being honest or fishing for a pity party. Later, I learned that when they first reconnected and he told her he was married, she responded with, I'm glad for you. You know, I think you don't remember this, but I had a crush on you back in high school. I even sent you a long text about it before I moved abroad, and you just responded with something like, oh, thank you for telling me. I never said anything else. I got embarrassed and deleted everything. The confession was sent right before she left to live abroad. Mind you, they hadn't talked since high school and she was moving away about 5 years later. So it was all this time without hearing from her, and then she sent that. I met her twice and she seemed nice, but then she was making plans over the phone to do things with my husband one-on-one, like we should have a picnic, buy desserts and share them over a movie, buy air drying clay and sculpt figures and poorly paint each other. These are all plans she suggested. This seemed off to me because while she acted nice, she never tried to include me in any of these plans. They never actually did any of it, and it went on and off for a few months. For a while, my husband even stopped talking to her because she's always complaining about something bad going on. It's a lot. I don't like it. Eventually, they resumed talking though, and she still made me feel uncomfortable somehow. I realized I was starting to feel jealous and a little insecure, which I have never been prone to, so it surprised me. And after a few weeks, I brought it up with my husband. He assured me she was just a friend and it was nothing to worry about. He was also surprised because I've never been the jealous type. Despite me bringing it up, the situation didn't change much. They just seemed to talk less, but her attitude was the same. I tried to work through it by myself, sought advice, read a lot, wrote down my feelings, and even talked to a close friend for outside perspective. I only brought it up once again, but the conversation kind of diverted, so it wasn't really helpful. Despite this all, I couldn't bring myself to like her at all. When I decided to bring it up the first time, he said something that had me thinking. I thought something like this might happen because it happened before. He had a very controlling, intense, and kind of mean girlfriend in high school. And when she saw my husband and this same girl being friends at the time, she forbade him from talking to her altogether. Because my husband was 13, young and malleable, he just stopped talking to her and ignored her in class. Thing is, this past mean girlfriend forbade him from talking to any girls at all, not just her. I knew of this mean ex-girlfriend already, just not in this context. Then, last Saturday, as my husband was in the bathroom before we went to bed, his phone chimed with a notification. When I looked, without ill intentions, my eyes just skimmed the suddenly lit screen. I saw her name pop up in the open chat sitting there. Once again, it was a longish text of her saying how she could only talk to him about her issues and how thankful she was to have him back in her life. Most of his answers were fairly platonic. Maybe one or two that made me frown a little, but nothing worth worrying about. He listens to people, so I really do understand that she'd feel comfortable talking about her issues. Still, it seemed that she was putting all of her emotional weight on him. She had okay moments too, where she acted with what seemed to be purely platonic intentions, so it made me wonder if I was reading too much into it at times. It was reading that text that sent me spiraling down a terrible rabbit hole of negative thoughts. I spent the entire night unable to sleep at all, and brought it up with my husband once again the next morning. I'm as transparent as one comes with my emotions, so he took one look at me and asked, "What's wrong?" Except I wasn't calm and meek like the previous times. I was a mess. I told him everything. My fears, how I've been dealing with my own emotions and thoughts regarding this for months now, how I'm sure he doesn't see it and thinks it all is platonic, and how I trust him. But it's her that was too much, especially because she seemed cloaked under this poor harmless girl attitude. I got a little worked up towards the end, but we sat down and he said, tell me everything. So I did. He was quiet for a while and then said very clearly that I am his priority and that he'd never put anyone above me. He apologized for anything he had said that hurt me, even if it was by accident, and said that if I'm so upset about this girl, then I'll just stop talking to her. Part of me wanted that. Part of me felt relieved to hear that. But I am too self-aware to not see how that can be damaging to our relationship in the future and create resentment, and I told him so. Still, he assured me that it was the only thing he could do. He didn't know what else to say about it, but he was glad that I spoke to him and didn't keep this bottled up inside any longer. I understand him not knowing what else to say because to him this came a little out of the blue since I had been swallowing my emotions for months instead of properly talking to him.
Well, I do think that there is something of like, yeah, it's like if you just in a relationship are constantly being like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't see that person, you can't do this thing.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, then sure, that could breed resentment. But like if you bring this to your partner and then they're just like, okay, well then I'll just like not, I'll remove that as a variable. And then you're like, yeah, but won't that make you hate me later? And he's like, No, I mean, I don't know, but I'm willing to
Yeah.
do that right now. That's
I think,
okay.
I think you just we read a lot of stories where people are like, oh, well, I don't want you to, no, I don't want you to do that. And it's like, I don't know, they're offering.
That's the solution.
Yeah, that's the solution.
And it doesn't have to mean that he's going to hate you later.
Especially, I mean, if you're not doing it, just like be aware of, is this something that you're always doing, or is it just in this case where this person is crossing a line?
It's when it's every single person. That's when it's like, okay, that's not, or when it's like, yeah, the thing that you love doing the most, I hate that you do that. You can't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
that's different. Today he seems perfectly fine, yet I can't help but feel guilty about this. My husband doesn't have many close friends, and he seemed happy to be getting close to this high school friend again. But she didn't seem as harmless as she made herself to be. I just don't want to be like his controlling old high school ex-girlfriend. Lastly, I'm debating if I should talk to him again and ask him about how he feels sometime this week after he's had a hard time to process it better. Though I don't think he'd say much, he's never been big with words. Or if I should just let it go and work on improving our relationship and trust. Did I do the wrong thing? Update. I've been doing some thinking, and now that I have told my husband everything, it feels as if I can finally look back in hindsight and notice things that I was trying to convince myself were harmless. I thought my anger and frustration were unjustified, but if I never cared about any other female friends, why would I suddenly be so bothered by this one if I didn't have a real reason? Because she didn't act like just a friend. She wasn't incredibly upfront, as I've read other stories in here where the new friend almost immediately went for a confession and let's run away together plan. But it was as if her small actions were an attempt to chip away at my marriage, all hidden under a false pretense. That, or she's really clueless and didn't realize what she was doing. I know some people latch on to others as a trauma response, and she's gone through terrible things, and it seems that the only friendship she ever made back then was with my husband. Still, she needs to seek proper help then. And if that's not the case, then she really needed to go. Even if she believed herself to be completely innocent, the way she acted implied the opposite. I decided to talk to my husband one more time just to make sure my point came across properly. Though I never suggested he should stop talking to her, when I told him everything that's been bothering me, his immediate response was to stop talking to her. He didn't phrase it as, do you want me to? But as, she upsets you, so I won't talk to her anymore. Perfect. Perfect.
That is the blueprint
Yes.
for how to do that.
So it feels good somehow to know that I didn't put these words in his mouth and that he offered to end the friendship himself. By the way, you can offer to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I mean, you got to be able to talk about stuff in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point I was in a relationship and I said something along the lines of like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I just don't think I'm how did I put it? Basically, after talking, the conclusion was like, yeah, as long as we never talk about any relationship issues, then we'll be fine.
It's terrible.
Which was not good.
That's
It
bad.
was very bad.
Bad.
And you can't have a healthy relationship that way.
You never talk about the issues. But there's a little bit left. Still, I wanted one last conversation to let him understand my reasoning. Now that I feel better and will be able to talk about it without being a mess. And so that he had time to process his emotions. It went okay, honestly. He listened and said he seemed okay these days because he's truly been okay. He's not upset about the friendship, and the only thing that did upset him was that I bottled up my emotions. He told me, we need to tell each other how we feel. You need to tell me these things. If something upsets you or hurts you, I want to know. My husband hid months of dealer payments while telling me we were broke.
Yeah, that's an immediate no-go for me, dog.
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and there is a trigger warning for mentions of the devil's lettuce. So I, 24 female, found out last night that my husband, 24 male, has been lying to me for the past 7 months. We have been married for a year now, but together for 9 years. We have 2 kids, both under 5 years old. By the way, this comes from Just Curious. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, when our son was small, I left him because he had a problem with smoking the devil's lettuce. He would spend thousands of dollars on devil's lettuce, and it would leave me and the kids struggling, and I ended up picking up a weekend job at an overnight gas station to try and recover.
What, like thousands of dollars? Like what? Like a month? What is the time frame for that? That is a serious use.
Yeah. I made about $400 a week, and he would literally spend it all. He spent close to $1,600 a month on it.
Oh my God.
And I was just completely done. At this time, we only had our oldest, so I packed us up and left. We went to stay with my parents, and for a year and a half, we lived there. Over this time, he got better. He stopped smoking, got a better job, got a nice vehicle, did everything right. So we got back together, but didn't live together. We talked, dated again for another 6 months, and then decided to just get married.
Yowza. That's not how you solve
I
things.
can't see that going wrong in any way.
We found out we were pregnant again 3 weeks after we got married. I thought all was well. Everything seemed great, but then I started to smell devil's lettuce on him from time to time. I know that most of his family does smoke, so I just kind of assumed it was them. But on these days that I smelt it, he would immediately go take a shower and brush his teeth.
He would say, you
Look.
smelt it, you dealt it.
I think if y'all guys were going to get back together, and I think there needed to be a very clear set of boundaries regarding his use, whether or not it's completely zero and that is part of the deal,
Yeah.
or it's like, hey, I understand maybe this is something you do, but you cannot do it at the expense of our children.
Yeah.
Like you cannot be spending that much money because we have children to take care of. And B, if you are that intoxicated, if you are in a cloud constantly, you cannot be the best parent that you can be.
Mm-hmm. That brings us to last night. His grandpa called and asked us to send him some money for a bill we had due that was in his grandpa's name. I was like, okay, and got on my husband's phone and went to his Cash App to send the money. We have had the same passwords on our phones for the past 5 years and have never changed them. And we have an open phone policy. But as I was about to send the money, I saw a recent transaction for $100. It was to his old dealer. This is when I decided to snoop. I went to see their transaction history and saw that over the past 7 months, he has paid this man almost $800.
Well, it's within the context, a significant improvement from $1,600 a month. So he's down. I don't know what the percentage on that would be over 7 months, but it's still a eyebrow-raising amount to be spending when you have 2 children. And the bad part about this is it's a secret. It cannot be a secret.
Yeah, you can't keep lying to your partner, especially when you guys literally broke up and she took your kid because of this. I didn't know what to do, and I just took pictures and put his phone down and went to bed. Devil's lettuce is very illegal in my state, and we know people whose kids have been taken away from them because they smoke.
Okay, then that changes literally everything.
Ooh,
now you can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it at all then, because
you can't do it.
You could go to jail, and then you won't be there to parent your kids. This was the only reason I decided that we could get back together if he was certain he would never smoke again. Now, I don't know what to do. I don't even know for certain if he is smoking or if he's just buying it for his family or if he was in debt to him. If I ask him about it, he'll be mad that I snooped through his phone. He was talking to me this morning saying how we need to budget better and not spend money and that he never spends money on himself. He literally said that.
Maybe. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good.
Yeah, the audacity to be blaming you for your guys' money troubles or just money budgeting issues. While he's doing this, he also said that he hasn't used his Cash App since he got his new phone, which he got last week. And the transaction on there was from Tuesday this week. So he lied straight to my face twice today. I saw on one of his apps that he talked to the guy on Tuesday as well, but their messages don't save, so I don't know what they said. I'm so confused and don't know what to do. We have 2 kids, we're married, and I don't work anymore. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have a bank account. I only have a card to his bank, but I have no way to access it and see how much is in there. He refused to make me an authorized person unless we got a postnuptial agreement, even though he promised to put me on there before we got married. And I promise to put you guys onto more full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Go ahead, I double dog dare you.
I dare ya. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Well, it's a very, there's the moving pieces of this are like, what kind of income is he bringing in? You're raising 2 kids. Would you be able to fiscally, would it make sense? There's a lot going on. There's more info that needs to be gathered. Is he buying it for his family?
Yeah.
What is
But
it needs to be like
doesn't make any sense to me.
Dude, it needs to be just the wake up of remember what we talked about?
Remember when I left with your kid?
I'd give him maybe one chance just to be like, hey. No,
Hey.
don't even outright accuse him. Just be like, do you remember what we talked about with the smoking and the deal that we had? And then he's like, yeah, I agree that we never do it again. And you just go, do you have anything that you need to tell me right now?
In the wise words of Dua Lipa, can't even say it. One chance is all it takes.
Wise words.
The whole song is now speeding through my head.
But there is a little bit left to this story. I can't go back to my parents because they moved and don't have the space. And we aren't on the best terms anymore because my dad wanted me to wait longer before I married him. Unfortunately, your dad was right. I don't even have a car anymore. He was using mine for work and letting me use his new one, and someone hit him and totaled my car. We haven't got a new one yet. I don't have a support system other than his other side of the family who doesn't smoke. I don't have any money. I don't have a job, and I don't have a car. I have 2 kids, and I have nowhere to go. I feel like I'm suffocating. I don't even know how to bring this up to him, that I know he lied straight to my face. What do? Comment 1 says, do not confront him. Step 1, go open a bank account. Make sure it's a different bank than the one his account is at and tell no one. If he uses Bank of America, you go Chase, vice versa. Step 2, you're going to play the long game. Do all the groceries. Every time you check out, take $20 cash back and hide it in a place he'll never find it until you deposit it in your new solo bank account. Take cash back anytime you have the chance to, like pay for gas inside instead of the pump if they have a cash back there. Always small amounts that would still equal an amount you would have spent wherever you are. $5 to $50. Step 3, reach out to your parents. Tell them they were right. Parents love to hear their kids admitting they were right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, your dad's going to love to hear that he was freaking right about your dirtbag boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or husband now.
He will.
If they care enough to be upset you married him, they care enough to help you get out of there. I suggest you take the kids to visit your parents. Then, once you are safe, confront him by phone. Do go spend money on a car that he is entitled of half of in the case of a divorce. And that is the end of that story. Yeah, I guess if you're in like a unsafe situation, then yeah, follow all of that stuff.
I mean, I think that the biggest thing was just not having the
Income.
the fiscal means
Sure.
to do it. So yeah, I guess squirrel. That was a pretty good step by step.
I agree. Very good step by step. And I 100% agree with the go back to your parents, see if they can help. But that's the end of that story. And we've got some comments to read.
We got one more.
Oh, but we're at the hour.
We got another little boy. My husband ruined my childhood keepsakes.
He ruined my dream journal.
For Pete's sakes. I am a 29 female house spouse to a man of the same age. I usually wake up after he's already gone to work. I have previously told him that he can wake me up with him in the morning.
Inside. I thought you wanted a layup.
Sorry, I should. Let me
I'll
do it one
leave.
more time.
Nah, it's too late.
I've previously told him that he can wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Can't wake up
No,
with him in the morning, but
Phenomenal.
he rarely does it. By the way, this comes from user Sporget.
That's a color.
That's kind of a yellowy red.
Sporget for sure. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments, as OP says. This morning, I woke up and noticed a towel tossed over a wooden chest that my grandfather had made for me when I was a child. I have used it to store many keepsakes over the years, and it is still holding up very well. Until now. When I lifted the towel, a significant amount of laundry detergent had been spilled on it.
No.
He had made an attempt to clean it by putting a bath towel on it and leaving it be.
He didn't even try.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
He
said-
literally.
He said, if I just throw this towel on it, it'll clean itself.
It'll magically wipe away.
This man literally hit the throw a blanket on it.
He said, if I just put this dish in the sink and soak it, it'll be clean by the time I come back.
What a silly guy.
Hey.
By the time I had woken up and found it, the detergent had soaked through and was creating a puddle underneath the wood.
Oh, no.
How much detergent? Why? What's going on? How did that even happen?
I'm sorry, did he pour detergent on the towel?
And he still thought leaving a towel over it. It was like, the towel will soak it up, right?
What?
Sorry, babe. I thought that was one of them fancy AI digital towels that could scrub and do everything by itself.
Okay.
Babe, I thought I knew what to do. I didn't have any internet connection. I couldn't ask ChatGPT how to do this. I quickly lifted it up and attempted to wipe the bottom and noticed that more had continued to seep out. I opened the chest to find books, things I made in grade school, yearbooks, and my old Christmas stocking soaked. The tears I had barely been holding back flooded out, and I struggled to go through the wreckage. While I was discovering the extent of the damage, I sent him a few pictures with sarcastic thanks and please take better care of my things. However, once I had opened the chest, I sent a message saying that I was not effing happy and that he had ruined quite a few of my things. My partner came home and confronted me about my response, saying it was unwarranted, that he doesn't react that way when I break his things repeatedly, and that I'm just going to be mad regardless of what he says. I have broken a few things of his, yes, small, non-sentimental items like a cup and glass paraphernalia for smoking. When those happened, I immediately brought them to his attention and offered to try to fix them. Usually his responses are nothing bad, though there have been occasions where I feel his response is unfair. Sometimes I confront the issue, other times it's not as big of a deal and I let it go. He thinks that I'm acting like he spilled it maliciously and that I'm being unfair as I was the one who instructed him to set things up that way, which is true for every part but the detergent. Is he trying to say you were like, well, yeah, this is your fault, because if I spill an entire bottle of detergent somewhere, how am I supposed to know to clean it up better than just putting a towel over it?
You told me that if I put the detergent in the laundry machine, it'll clean the laundry. How was I supposed to know that I could only put a little capful and not the whole bottle?
I'm struggling to understand how so much detergent could be spilled. That it went through. Okay.
No clue.
Wooden chest. A wooden chest. The detergent was so thick, it seeped through the chest and through the bottom?
Probably through the cracks.
Are you using acid for your detergent?
I think so.
I am so bewildered. By the way, there's a bewildering amount of full episodes with stories just like this that you can listen to on your favorite podcast platforms. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime and help us decipher the detergent riddle.
The secret of the detergent, a Nancy Drew mystery.
My favorite, I was going to say Hardy Boys.
Too late. Gotcha.
Goosebumps.
No, totally different. Wrong.
R.L. Stein. If you met R.L. Stein in real life, would he be IRL Stein?
Yeah.
I expressed that I am mad about him making no attempt to wake me up if he didn't have time before work, not that he made an accidental mess. So was my response unwarranted? I want an outside perspective to know if I was truly an a-hole or if I'm justified in feeling and acting that way, the way I did. I have no problem approaching him and apologizing if I was, and would hope for the same from him. And that is the end of that story.
He's the a-hole.
I think you're fully warranted in being upset that your husband doesn't know how to use a towel.
Or how to apologize.
Or how to clean a mess.
He doesn't know how to clean up emotional or physical messes.
I was going to say, like, yeah, accidents happen, but like, dude threw a towel over it and said,
yeah,
that'll clean it.
That's the thing.
And
it's
then-
like, it's
and
not
yeah.
even you dropped laundry detergent all over my stuff. It's you put a towel on it.
Like, you didn't fix it, and then I was right there. You could have woken me up, and I could have taken care of it, but you did not wake me up. It's
Wake
like,
me up
it's just weird energy. And then him like being like, well, you've broken my stuff before. It's like, yeah, but I didn't break any of your priceless sentimental keepsakes that are irreplaceable. And also, every time I break something, it sounds like I'm like, I want to fix this and make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges, which
It
I've
just don't
always
make
felt is a bad
sense.
comparison because they are both fruit.
They taste different.
It should be like apples and,
Tomatoes.
Still fruit.
you know,
Still
steel
fruit.
beams. It's like
Apples and-
there's no comparison.
Chocolate.
But that is the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And
and
see
see
you
you tomorrow.